I can hear it lightly.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. And listen, it's beautiful. Well, actually, I lied. It's a beautiful day to be alive, I'll say that. But it's a little rainy outside on this Tuesday, December 6th. We're deep into the NFL season. What are we coming up on week 14? I want to believe it is. Uh, Listen, we wait all year for it to come back, and then bam, just like that, it's gone in the blink of an eye once again. But hey, we appreciate it while it's here. And the thing I mostly appreciate is this show allows me to talk to my guy CJ. CJ, how we doing there, brother?
How you doing, man? All is well. Glad to be back, man. Week 13 recap. A lot of football to talk about. Yeah, it's raining. Crazy. I think over the next couple of days, it's supposed to be raining pretty bad over here in New York. So, yeah, other than that, everything's good. Weekend went well. Uh, Mental health is great. So, I'm great.
That's what we need. That's what,
Facts.
as Marshawn said, take care of that mental, take care of that chicken. That's what,
1000%.
that's what Marshawn said, and we'll live by it. Hey, listen, why don't we jump right into everything, okay?
Let's do it.
That's what the people are here for. I will say that. And with that being said, we start off with our boys. And CJ, I said this in the chat when the game was happening. I'm not even mad. Like, I wasn't even mad watching this game like I normally am watching Patriot games because there was just no hope. There was never any hope. There was never a thought in my mind that the Patriots were going to win this game. I've seen what happened when they play the Bills and there's not an absolute hurricane happening. It's never good things. Diggs usually does good. Some other person usually pops off, and we usually don't do much on offense. I even said in the chat that if we made them punt in this game, I would almost consider it a victory. We made them punt a couple of times. So, I mean, basically, we're 1-0 on the season against the Bills. But no. Yeah, listen, it was just it's kind of what you expected. Allen did his thing. The offense, once again, looks bad. I mean, when you're not playing somebody like the Lions and, the worst pass defense in the NFL and the Vikings, this is kind of what happens to the offense. It's not very good. And one day people will learn to accept that. But until then, we'll keep getting our hopes up and doing all that fun stuff. But, yeah, ugly. You got Mac during the game getting mad at Patricia, showing some emotion, saying, the throw the ball, the short game sucks. And then, you got even Bill after, I don't know if it was after the game or later on in the week, saying, it's kind of hard to change things this late in the season, meaning when he was asked about Matt Patricia being the offensive coordinator. There's not a lot of talent over there. When the defense has to play somebody, not Zach Wilson, it's decent. It's not, all-time great. Like, look, the Patriots have given up 6 points in the last 3 weeks. Like, yeah, it was Zach Wilson twice and then somebody else in the middle of that wasn't, that special. So a nice win for the Bills with everything else that we will go on and talk about later in this show. That means they are back in first place, not only in the division, they're now the first seed in the AFC again. They went from the fifth seed to the first seed. So now they kind of control their own destiny. If they win out, you would imagine that not only would you imagine, if they do win out, they have the tiebreaker over literally everybody, that they would end up being the number one seed and the road to the Super Bowl would run through Buffalo. But yeah, just another meh Thursday night game and 7-10.
7-10. You got the Cardinals up next, so that's going to be interesting. See whether or not they get that dub. Yeah, it's just the offense is just inept. That's really what it boils down to. It's just sad to watch. It's so painful to watch because you just talked about the defense and how I didn't expect us to be the 2000 Ravens, but it's tough for a defense to go out there. They're on the field so much because the offense just gets 3 and outs all the time. So I mean, you can't ask these 11 guys to be on the field so much and stop a guy like Josh Allen
No.
consecutive series. It's impossible. You you gotta hope, you get a 3-and-out every once in a while. You hope your offense stays on the field for a few, has a long drive here and there, keep that defense fresh. If that offense is getting right back, goes right on the field and comes right back off the field, I mean, come fourth quarter time, they're going to be gassed. And with a guy like Josh Allen, who's a threat running the football, that's a problem. When the play breaks down, you may have him for the first 3 seconds. Once he rolls out the pocket, these guys are tired as hell. So ready the fourth quarter, they've already been running around. You got a 6'4", 245 quarterback running at you. It's GG's. So that's the issue. Matt Patricia, Nathaniel Hackett, top 2 worst offensive coordinators in NFL history. Not even hyperbole. Just all facts. And he's terrible. Doesn't know what he's doing. He's not good at his job, and it sucks because. And then now Belichick wants to come out and say it's too late to fix the offense. Oh, he should never had that position in the first place. You hire him to be your offensive coordinator when you're developing a second-year quarterback. So it's tough for me to even critique Mac when this guy has never done this job before. So how am I supposed to critique Mac, and what is he telling Mac in these meetings to what to look for? The plays are being called. Kendrick Bourne had the best year of his career with us last year. 58 receptions, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. Now he's at 20-something receptions, 200 yards, no touchdowns.
Doghouse.
No touchdowns. I mean, so you're telling me he's regressed as an athlete? No. You can't. Yeah, how do you go from one year you have your best year of your career to the next year you have literally the worst year of your career? Even in San Fran, he wasn't putting up these numbers, and he's healthy. It's not like he's hurt.
Yeah.
Jacoby tell me Jacoby Myers is this is Jacoby Myers, the numbers that he's putting up. Actually, Devontae Parker. Yeah, I know he's not all world, but is he more than just a back shoulder fade wide receiver? I think so. And then of course the tight ends just been. Hunter Henry was a great piece for us last year. This year can't even get involved into the offense. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Jonnu Smith, really since his entire time as a Patriot, just hasn't been able to figure it out. But again, it's tough for me to even critique him because look who's the play caller. You got to blame Bill. It's Bill's fault. He hires these guys. He makes these decisions. And we're 6-6. But you look at our losses. You just look at our losses. The offense has been so bad. We don't even know if we could potentially won those games if we had a capable play caller on the offensive side. I mean, a lot of those games we were in, but we just couldn't get drives together and score. So
red zone can't convert.
That's what's so frustrating to me about this team. We were just so trash as a collective. Defense, offense was trash. Everybody couldn't score. We were just dirt. All right, cool. But when you watch the games and you're like, okay, we're getting stops. We're getting stops. We're forcing teams to punt. We're forcing teams to get field goals. And then when we get the ball, I mean, Marcus Jones is the only person that scored a touchdown on this team on the offense.
Defensive special team player.
Defensive and special teams player. As soon as he touches the football, he scores a touchdown. Might want to implement him to the offense. I think that would make a lot of sense if he touched the football and scored the touchdown. And our offense is struggling. Wouldn't it make sense to add a guy with that type of speed into our offense?
Didn't Thornton run like a 4.2?
He doesn't use Thornton the right way. It's just, again, I can't even critique these guys because just the scheme is so bad. And then you see Mac. You talked about it too at the end there when you were breaking down the game. You talked about Mac's frustrations, being disappointed in the offense, and he's saying the quick game is trash. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that people say is a check down guy. He's complaining about the quick game, so
it's a whole lot of out routes to Ramondre
Stevenson. That's it. That's the entire offense.
Up and out route to Stevenson.
Check downs to Ramondre. You're not pushing the ball down the field. You can tell by the body language of these guys on the offense. I saw Kendrick Bourne got his first catch in the fourth quarter of the game. Fourth quarter?
He's in the doghouse. He's in Matt Patricia's doghouse since the beginning of the season. I need to know what he did. If you're in the doghouse, what did he do?
Probably said that all this offense is terrible, and it probably hurt his ego, and now we're not calling plays for 84. I don't know, but again, this is all on Bill. This is all on Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even go as far as saying some of this is on Kraft too. Kraft has to put his foot down. I know he gave Bill the keys to the franchise essentially, and they struck gold. By they struck gold. So I get it. You don't want to come in there and feel like you're telling Bill what to do after he's done so much for your organization over these last 26 years. But I mean,
can't be a yes man either.
Yeah, exactly. You also got to put your foot down as the owner of the team, as the guy that cuts the checks when it's all said and done, and saying like what's going on. And if Bill, if you feel a way about how my opinion or how I feel about a move that you got, especially a coaching staff, and watching the team, and the team isn't bad. It's just the offense is just terrible, and we're losing these games where we don't even know if we'd have a chance to win because the offense just can't get it together. I would have a problem with who you picked as the play caller. And this is a second-year quarterback. It'd be different if this was a 6-7 year veteran. He could come in. Maybe they could kind of learn, they could, the quarterback knows an offense. They could kind of come together and bring their minds together and schemes and come together, even though Matt Patricia's an inexperienced play caller. This is different. This is a second-year guy coming into the NFL. You need a sure thing. You need structure at that position. You need a guy that's in his helmet, talking to him, telling him what to look for. Even when he goes on the sideline, makes a bad play, sitting down and looking at the tablet. What are you looking for? What did you miss here? What do you need to look at? What are the right reads? Those are things that offensive play callers who are experienced and have that type of cachet, that's what you need next to a guy like Mac Jones. He doesn't have that.
No.
So Bill's not developing Mac Jones the right way. Now, we could critique Mac, and over these last few weeks, he hasn't turned the ball over. I'll give him that. Again, the touchdowns, they can't even get in the red zone. So, I mean, it's only about 4 touchdowns, but it's no turnovers. I'll give him that. The offensive line is terrible. I mean, we don't have any tackles. Isaiah Wynn, Trent Brown, I'm pretty sure they won't be on the team next year.
No, hell no. Can't.
Our tackles are shot. And that's a big issue too. When you're not able to pass protect and run the football, that does play a part in your play calling. But even when we saw those guys playing relatively well and consistently on that offensive line, the offense was still terrible. So it's just time. It's just this is what it is. This is what it is for this season. I mean, it's really no other way to say it. I mean, they're going to be a team that going to be a spoiler type team where a certain team will come into Foxborough, or they're going on the road. The players look at the Raiders. They're trying to get back to 500, try to make a playoff push. We see them in a couple weeks. Buffalo, Miami. We see those guys one more time. We could potentially be a spoiler for them in terms of seeding and where they're placed at in the playoffs come January. That's what it look. To me, that's what I see for the Patriots right now. I don't see a playoff berth by any stretch of the means, just because the offense is disgusting. It's bad. It's dirt. It's the worst I've seen as a fan over the last two decades. As I've been a fan, I haven't seen an offense this bad. Even the Cam Newton offense, when Cam Newton was there, you could understand that because pandemic, guys coming in late, didn't have a lot of cap space, didn't have an opportunity to get guys at the right moment. You could make an excuse for that year. You could say, yeah, that year's a wash. That's a year where a lot of teams didn't really have an opportunity to get things on. But this year, when you have the cap space, when you're bringing in guys, where again, these guys aren't pro bowlers, they aren't elite, but I feel like they're talented enough to make plays where Kendrick Bourne is talented enough to get close to 1,000 yards a season. For him to only have 213 weeks, that's alarming to me. That's alarming. When he had great rapport with Mac Jones, I thought he was going to take a next step, at least get to 1,000 yards, 70 catches. Hunter Henry.
I was just about to say, I thought Henry was going to have a big year this year.
Yeah, I saw the offense in being, again, where you don't have a primary guy, but you're diming it to a bunch of guys. And whoever's open, they use their talents, get the rock. Jacoby could catch the football. Bourne, Parker, Tyquan Thornton has shown flashes. Marcus Jones. I mean, we have guys, but they're not put in the positions to succeed. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You also need the coaching on the other end for you to be successful, and that's just not the case right now in New England.
No, it's not. And you just wonder how it gets better. I mean, Bill has to swallow
It's
the
not.
pride. No, Bill's gonna have to swallow the pride in the offseason, and you either fire Patricia, you make him the defensive coordinator, you fire him straight up, and you go out and I don't know, does Bill O'Brien want to come back? If maybe I would say does Josh McDaniels get fired and come back? But
I don't think
now
he's going to get fired.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say now all of a sudden they're winning again.
Yeah, they're playing for
So
him. They're playing
yeah,
for him. Yeah.
yeah. So he's not gonna get fired because the Raiders are playing well again.
I'm tired of the same names. Let's spice it. Like, man, I mean, change is good sometimes, Bill. I mean, I know. Listen, I know you're an older guy.
Besides this change.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, in terms of
No, I know what
the
you
same,
mean.
yeah. In terms of hiring the same people every single time and rinse and repeat. Oh, he gets fired. Oh, let's bring him back and he could be with us. Oh, he sucked as a head coach. It's okay. He'll come back with us and we'll accept him. And he can be asked for us and hurt our team. Oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do. No. How about you develop some young coaches? You're not gonna be here for long, brother.
Nope. Listen, seriously though, the only coach I've heard developed from Bill recently is Steve, his kid.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only coach that I ever hear anything about. Everybody else is Patricia and Judge and
Gerard Mayo. I mean, his former player. He's a great linebacker for us.
Oh yeah, I loved Mayo.
He's done a good. Troy Brown. I know Troy Brown can't get a shot at calling the plays. This man's won championships in your offense. Like he was literally the one primary receiver during the beginning stages of the dynasty. It was Troy Brown. That's who Brady would go to. That was the Edelman back in that era. Yeah. He doesn't know an offense. He can't call plays. I'm not Jack. I don't know. He can't. You tell him he can't. He's been there for the longest. He's been there forever, over 2 decades. He's been a part of that organization. You telling me he can't get an opportunity to call an offense? He's been around the best of the best. He's made big plays. He knows what these guys want. He's been the wide receiver coach. He is the wide receiver coach right now for these guys, and I'm pretty sure he's trying to get these guys up and try to motivate them as much as possible, because he knows everybody. I mean, he came out. I think he came out yesterday and kind of talked about he understands where Kendrick Bourne's is coming from in terms of his post game press conference comments in regards to the offense and how they're just not clicking. They're starting off slow, and they're just playing slow the whole game. So everybody sees it. You can't deny it, and we're just gonna have to accept it because it's not gonna get any better. He's not gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? Yeah, let me be a great schemer and scheme things up now in week 13, week 14. It's just not gonna happen. So Patriots gonna be a spoiler team. This is what they are. It's unfortunate because we got guys that are healthy. Yeah. It's not an injury plagued team. I mean, it's a couple injuries here and there, and to keep at the tackle position, they're important. Yeah. But for the most part, most of these guys are healthy. Josh Uche having a great year, getting sacks. Judon as well.
See, I was just about to say though, I don't want to be this guy, but it kind of happened last year. Where's been Judon been the last couple of weeks?
I mean, it's pretty much what I said earlier. I mean, you can only ask him to do so much when he's on the field. So much, it's going to tire himself out.
Yeah, but I mean, even against the Vikings, they had backup tackles in because Deshaun got hurt. Nothing. No, I don't think we sacked Kirk one time that game. I mean, it happened last year at the end of the year. We were all excited about Judon, and then he kind of disappeared at the end. It's been 2 games, so I don't want to, all of a sudden, he's gone again. But I mean, I'd certainly I'm not asking for 4 a game.
No, I know, yeah. But I mean, there's gonna be games where the defense isn't gonna be there, and that's when you rely on your offense sometimes to win you some games. We see this all the time. Defense may not have it going, offense has a good game, and it helped them and get the W. Sometimes it's the opposite. This year, it's just really been defense, special teams saving us. And the offense barely we're barely getting by. We're facing these bad teams. We're 17 is just enough against Trubisky and the Steelers.
No, yeah, listen, we're 6-6, and you can make the argument, like you said before, there's some games in there we should have won. You can make a very good argument this team should have 3 less losses or 3 less wins. I mean, if you replace Zach Wilson in either one of those Jet games with any other quarterback in the entire NFL, I think that the Patriots lose both of those games. I think if somebody is more competent for the Steelers, they would have lost that game. Like,
Sure, yeah, you could definitely,
so it's never the only like certified win we have is the Lions.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's not a bad win. But I'm just saying, I see what you're saying, but I'm also looking at it from the other side. Is like some of those losses that we had. If our offense was, capable,
CJ, you know what we got going on right here? CJ, we got the typical optimistic, pessimistic viewpoint.
Nah, I'm not being optimistic. I'm not being optimistic at all. I'm saying the offense is terrible. But I'm just looking at the games and how we're in some of these games that we lose.
Nah, see, that's what I'm saying though. You're on the side that we should have more wins. I'm on the side that we should definitely have more losses. That's where my pessimism comes in.
No, but like your point about the Jet thing is true. I agree with that. Like if Mike White was the quarterback, yeah, I agree with that. We said this on the show. I said that. I was like, yo, if any other quarterback was there, in that first one, we're gonna lose. The second one, same thing. Yes, same thing. I agree with you. And then again, we're saying the same thing because I could say we should have scored. We should have scored more than 3. Words. Yeah, we should have scored more than 3. So again, this is why they're a 500 team. My teams have just been 500 this year, man, between basketball and football. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's all good.
Well, CJ, I don't know about you, but there were a lot of good games this weekend. There were. I think this was the best week of football we've had so far. These next 2 games didn't make the list.
No, not at all.
These next 2 games did not make the list. So listen, I say touch up on them, sure. But I don't think we go too deep into these next 2, Steelers and the Falcons. Listen, Falcons are our pesky team. We know that. It's over for Mariota. At this point, I would honestly put in Ritter to see what you have for the rest of the season. I mean, you might as well. You're obviously not. I say you're obviously not making the playoffs, but the Bucs are only 6-6 right now, I believe. So
yeah, unless the Bucs completely collapse, or teams like the Giants and the Commanders collapse over this next month, they don't have a shot.
And like, could it really be that much worse with Ritter than Mariota? So,
but it's like you don't want, say if Ritter's good and they start winning games, and then you have a lower pick than what you might have wanted to get in the draft. Because Ritter comes in and wins a couple more games than
I think that's how fans look at it. I don't know if the team ever looks at it like, damn, we just leave Mariota in so we can lose more, get a better pick. So
I mean, they're in these games.
Yeah,
they're in these games. I mean,
they lost the games.
They lost against the Commanders on Mariota threw a pick in the red zone.
Yeah.
This one also a close game, but. Yeah, maybe if Ritter. I don't know if Ritter was really that good, he beat out Mariota, right?
Unless they really just said you're not playing this year. I mean, that's hard for a lot of teams because a lot of teams eventually, say that and then they fold to the pressure of the fans and the chance or coming out during the game when the team's playing bad. A lot of teams end up folding to that, but maybe the Falcons just said, "Listen, Ritter, I don't care if we go 0-17. You're not playing this season. We want to watch you learn. We want you to learn and sit there." But I mean, for this, yeah, I mean, close game. Steelers win another one. You see the small improvements from Pickett. Early on he was having some turnovers. This game, 16-28, 197, a touchdown. Didn't have any interceptions. Najee looked pretty good in this game. Had that mean stiff arm.
Yes.
I mean, just absolutely little brothered whoever that was. I don't even know who it was, honestly. We had 17 carries, 86 yards. The thing coming out of this game, though, too, is that George Pickens, very upset. 2 targets in this game, only had 1 catch. He kind of did the same thing Mac did in a wide receiver version. On the sideline, took the helmet off, give me throw me the ball, whatever. And, I mean, you can't really be mad at him. Obviously, it's the competitiveness and everything like that, but when the
all right, okay. That's just okay. So later on, right, when he does that, I don't want to hear. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying for people that feel this way, that have that stance, later on, don't say he's a diva.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, because that sounds because guys that are express them wanting the ball, the media, they look at it as them being a diva. It's all about me, me, me.
Here's
Or
my thing.
I see it as like, let me get the ball so we could help the team win, because that's how good
I'll
I am.
give you my only counter argument to this. My only one is kind of like the Elijah Moore situation, where it was the team was on like a 5-game win streak, and he's going to the media like, I can't believe I'm not getting the ball. Like, your team is on a 5-game winning streak. You guys are looked fantastic. Like, now you're going to complain. And don't get me wrong, the Steelers, I think, have won 2 games in a row. So I guess it's a little bit of hypocrisy in the way that I'm saying that. But I mean, the Steelers offense is terrible. Like, it is not very good. So I don't blame him for being like, bro, have you, because and here's the other thing too, like, especially because when he does get the ball, or even the ball thrown in his direction, I mean, we've seen some of the crazy catches he's made this season. So for me, it's almost like, yeah, get me the ball. Our offense is terrible. I can obviously go out there and make plays. Like, why am I not even getting looked? I mean, 2 targets. 2.
Yeah. It's like, why'd you get rid of Claypool?
Yeah,
to give him more touches, right? So why is he not seeing that?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess my only thing would be like, if they were all of a sudden, 10-1 and or whatever record they would be at this point in the season, if they were 11-1 like the Eagles, and you had AJ or you had Devonta Smith come out and be like, I can't believe AJ is getting all these targets, and there I'd be like, really, bro? Like, that to me, that would be diva. But here it's like, the offense is bad. I have 2 targets. I can obviously make plays. Why can't I get the ball? So I think that I'm interested to see what happens next game, if they really, go back to the drawing board and they're like, all right, you want the ball so bad? Well, let's draw up some plays for you, see what you can do in this game, and we'll go from there. And if you can capitalize on it, because obviously you can't go out there and be like, I want the ball, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then maybe the next game, like I said, they do draw plays for him, and it's, okay, well, you dropped this pass, you made a bad play here, you ran the wrong route, or you caught the ball here. Hey, CJ, also, this is a different topic. One thing that annoys me so much in the NFL, actually in all of football, is when they catch the ball and then they run backwards and sideways. It annoys me to absolutely no end. I feel like you see people, especially people with speed. See, Tyreek gets away with it a lot because he just is that fast.
Right, he can get by you again.
But
right.
I see, like, they'll catch the ball at the first down marker, turn around, and then try and like circle back. Just run forward.
So cringe.
Am I wrong? Do you not see that all the time?
Yeah, it happens a lot. And I always say, man, just go north-south.
Gosh, that always annoys me. But yeah,
these teams, when they do that, they want to make the highlight instead of making the right play, instead of getting the first down. First down is the highlight. That's the highlight, the first down.
Yeah, Mark Ingram found that out on Monday night. Man. Mark Ingram certainly found that out on Monday night. But yeah, that's all I have for this game, CJ. If you want to finish that, and then we can go to we'll briefly talk on this Bronco game. Talk about a useless conversation besides Lamar, but
yeah, it's facts. Yeah, not too much to say about the Steelers and the Falcons. Only one thing I'll add is they're finding ways to win. They're well coached, and whenever they figure this out, I think it'll be this year. But whenever they figure this out, that division, man. I know Deshaun just came back; he was rusty, but you expect that missing about 700 days of football altogether. No real live action in well over a year, so you expect that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Lamar. I don't know. But as it stands today, we got Lamar, Watson, Burrow, and if they can figure those, if Pickett, Pickens, Johnson, Harris, if they get a right offensive line and Pickett becomes a guy, that's a formidable offense. A formidable team and a formidable division going forward. That's going to be a gauntlet. That's going to be a gauntlet. And those defenses are good too. All those defenses, they got
TJ for a while. They got Minka for a while. So they're certainly not going anywhere. Nathaniel Hack is probably going to end up going somewhere. Probably back to the unemployment line. Which, by the way,
he'll get picked up somewhere soon. You know how it goes.
Maybe go back to the Packers.
Go right back. Go right back
to the Packers. Listen, another just, nails against a chalkboard, rubbing 2 metal knives together type of game. Like, unless you were a fan of either one of these teams, you didn't watch it. Broncos can't. You know the Broncos haven't scored more than 24 points in a game this season.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've seen it. They barely could get to 17.
So what? This is. I think they would be now 10-1 if they put up 18 plus points in regulation, and in every single game this year. So it's definitely been an ugly season for them. And then I don't even want to talk about the Broncos because who cares? Obviously, the big story out of this one, and moving forward, is that Lamar, I believe it's his knee, because he came into the game with a little bit of a hip thing, and he ends up hurting his knee in this game. He goes out. He never came back into the game. The early on report was like day-to-day to week-to-week type of situation. It was one of those weird injury designations where it was like he can be back tomorrow or he can miss the season. And then, luckily it turns out I think he had like a sprain.
PCL sprain.
Yeah, a PCL sprain. So it looks like I think the normal injury time I saw on Twitter was like 1 to 2 weeks. So hopefully he comes back, obviously, and can take the Ravens on, because listen, I think that they can win with Huntley. Because obviously he's not Lamar.
Think so?
I think they can.
How?
I think he's scrappy. I think he does what he has to do.
Who's he throwing the ball to?
I mean, hey, who's Lamar throwing the ball to?
Right. So Huntley's not Lamar.
I see it. I know what you mean. I
barely beat the Broncos.
It's the only saving grace for them is that it's the same offense. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously not the same offense from the fact that he's not as good as Lamar, but I mean, you're not going from Lamar to somebody who can't move.
Same style, right?
Yeah, it's the same style of offense. It's not, Lamar to Tom Brady, where
exactly.
all of a sudden if you got a statue in the backfield. So hopefully, they can keep up the RPOs. Maybe they add even more into it. Maybe more designed quarterback runs than they normally have been doing, because maybe they've wanted to protect Lamar a little bit, because he's been a little bit banged up. Like I said, I think he had a rib thing as well, along with like a foot, and so he's been pretty banged up. But I mean, this opens the door. I'll tell you that the door is wide open in the AFC North now, because the Bengals look like they're all the way back, and they're obviously going to be challenging for the division lead now if Lamar is out those 1 to 2 weeks. I don't honestly know who they play those next couple of weeks, so I can't off the top of my head I don't have a prediction of
talking about the Ravens.
Yeah, who they play?
They see the Browns again. They see the Bengals one more time.
Well, if Lamar's not there for those games, it might look a little.
Blake on who they play next week. We'll obviously break that down shortly, but yeah, it's tough, and this is they're going to use this. They're going to use this against Lamar when contract time. I was going to say this, bro.
I knew it was coming. That's why I left it there. I didn't even say it. I didn't even say it.
That's what they're gonna do, bro. It's man.
How are we gonna give you that money if you can't stay healthy?
Can't stay healthy last year. Can't stay healthy this year. I mean, I just see it now. They're having those conversations in those meetings, in those Raven higher up top executive meetings. I could see it. PCL sprain. Deepak, shout out Deepak. He first reported it. I saw it when he tweeted it out. Pretty much right after Lamar left the game. He said it looks like a PCL sprain. Come to find out, PCL sprain. Shout out Deepak, man. Calling great call.
That's our doc.
Great call on that. Yes, sir. That's our doc. Shout out Deepak on that. It's unfortunate. This is the home stretch of the season. This last 4 weeks is seeding season. That's what I call it, because it comes down to these games are going to decide whether or not where you're going to be at when it comes to the playoffs. You're going to be the first seed, second seed. What your matchup what will look like in a couple weeks. So, for Lamar not to be there, and for some games, especially in the division coming up, if he misses those games, like you talked about, those are going to be tough challenges for that Ravens offense.
Yeah.
If he misses 2 games, can they go 1-1? Sure. What if we're looking at 3-4 weeks? It's over. Because again, I mean, you just don't have any faith in anybody else on that offense. Other than Lamar. Lamar is the offense. He's their offense. Even with even as great as Mark Andrews is, he's not a guy that could catch the football for 7 yards and take it 80. That's not his play style. He's a methodical type guy. That's why him and Lamar work so well. They chop the field up and go down the field and get touchdowns. So now he's not in there. Big step back. Huntley does have experience. He played last year. He played a lot last year. So he's going to come in and make some plays here and there. He just got to protect the football. Protect the football. Do not turn the football over. As long as he keeps ball security at the top of his priority list every single Sunday, they're going to have a shot. Defense is good enough to get plays, make stops. They do want to run the football. He does have the ability to use his legs to run the football on offense, like you said. So I could see they're going to see some more quarterback power, draw, things like that. They're going to use his athleticism, try to get him on the outside, make some reads easier for him. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because they did only manage to get 10 points in this game. The offense hasn't been great over the last couple of weeks, and that was with Lamar under center. So it's going to be a challenge for Greg Roman. He's already been heavily criticized about his play calling and what he hasn't done in terms of developing this offense, and then also the lack of talent that they have. So we'll see how it plays out for Baltimore going forward. But yeah, not too much. There's nothing really to say about the Broncos. Their season is done. It's a wash. Daniel Hackett, more likely than not, won't be the head coach of the Broncos next season.
Nathaniel Hackett is a hack confirmed. Packers and the Bears, just a typical Packer-Bear game. I mean, this is the most Packers and Bears game of all time. Even when the Packers are bad, if they have Aaron Rodgers there, he's going to own the Bears. I believe he's like 25-3 against them now in his entire career. I think the Packers passed the Bears as well in the all-time win list in the NFL history. I think it's somewhere in the 780s or something of that nature. But I mean, listen, I don't want to repeat it because I say this every single week, so I'll just skip past it. You see the improvements from the Bears. They had this game won, probably. They give up a 4th and 10 to Christian Watson, who is becoming a guy. It looks like they might have done it again.
What a special player, bro.
We talk about, they don't draft a first round wide receiver again, and I can't believe they're doing this and that, whatever. Well, I mean, honestly, it looks like they did it again because Christian Watson,
they can still draft a couple more.
Oh no, no, they need more.
I know they struck gold, but that don't mean just stop there.
No, they need more, but Christian Watson looks like a guy. Listen, I still think the Packers season is over. I don't think they're doing anything in the playoffs. Obviously, I don't even think they will make it. And yeah, Bill is the worst. I guess the only thing for the Bears that you wish you would kind of see, because obviously maybe a Bears fan still does want them to lose to get that 2nd overall pick and really do everything. But there's been a couple chances this year where Justin Fields has had the chance to go down at the end of the game and really win one and show the clutch gene. And I think there's been 2 or 3 opportunities so far this season. I don't think he's done it on any one of them. I mean, this game, Packers ended up scoring. Justin Fields has a chance to go drive down. He throws an interception. They end up scoring. And then, they come back, and I think he threw another interception as well. It happened earlier in the season. I can't remember who they were playing, but had a chance to go down. So maybe you wish you could see that where Fields would, go on that clutch drive just to see, if he can do it, I guess, put air quotes around that, because I think he'll obviously be able to. And, maybe if there was more talent on the team, he would be able to lead those drives. And, he's obviously still dealing with the shoulder situation. You've seen, I think he only ran the ball 3 times in this one. Of course, one of those runs was this week, right? He had the 56-yard. Yeah, all right. I just wanted to make sure that all these kind of blend together at this point in the year. But he takes the read option, makes the defender miss, and then listen, he just has people. Oh yeah, they really put it into second gear. No. Justin Fields has a different gear. He is running away, full sprinting past people that are 40 pounds lighter than him at cornerback. Like, he has another gear. Like, this dude is a freak athlete who just happens to play the quarterback position, is obviously very, very good. So you still see the improvements from the Bears. Packers do their thing against the Bears, not surprised. And Christian Watson looks like a guy.
Yeah, this is again. They just can't find a way to beat Green Bay. I picked them in our picks last Tuesday. I thought this would be the game for them to get over the hump. Everybody was so low on the Packers. Fields coming back, give them a lot of energy, but Packers, Rodgers, they just find a way, and also the Bears, they just know how to get in their own way as well, and that's going to play a factor, and that's just going to come with inexperience. Still a young quarterback, still makes some mistakes, makes a lot of special plays. I think year 3 he's going to have a like Hurts year 3. Yeah, yep, exactly.
Oh,
yeah. I could see it. I could see him having that big step in his 3rd year. I do believe they will bring people in to help him, to make things easier for him, and he's going to flourish. And then we're going to start to see his talents really on a main display, because they're going to be winning on top of the highlights. And for Green Bay, I mean, yeah, it's a good win in terms of pride, because this is a rival team. This is your rival.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the record is, you want to get one at least. If you go 1-16, if that one, if you go 2-15,
Matt said it last week.
Yeah, exactly. They go 2-15.
So we can lose the rest of the game as long as we win this one.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what Packers think, and that's what you think, and you're in that division too.
I see Vic's here. Why are people saying that Baker's heading to the 49ers? Why can't they let this man's career down? Listen, he's not going to the 49ers. He's on the Rams, baby.
On the Rams, yes. He's Los Angeles.
Rams were the only team to put a waiver claim in for him. Actually.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get into that. But yeah, good game for the Packers. Christian Watson. It's gonna be special. It's gonna be special going forward. He's just whenever he's in the red zone.
He has 8 touchdowns in 4 games?
4 games, yes. 8 touchdowns in 4 games is insane. If you thought Rodgers wasn't coming back, I'm pretty sure this will be a pretty good pitch to come back next season.
Look, we got another one.
Yeah, exactly, for Green Bay, and then hopefully a full season of him. He can stay healthy, and they can really develop something special over there in Green Bay. Yeah, this is an injury plagued season. Had a lot of injuries, Rodgers included. Not just the hand, the ribs, the oblique, all different type of things. Been banged up. It's just not their year. It's not their year. These things happen. So go back to the drawing board. Just make sure these guys, your top guys, stay healthy for the rest of the season, going into next season, and try to run it back and try to do what you did over the years prior. But for this game specifically, good game for Green Bay in this historic rivalry, and the Bears still got a lot of work to do.
We move on to the Lions and the Jags. This was just an absolute beatdown. I mean, the Lions' offense is very, very good. Believe it or not, it really is. They activated Jameson Williams this game. A little bit of a weird situation. They activated him, and then they put him on the special teams. Kind of odd to me. I mean, your first round pick, I believe he was. And he's coming off an injury. You put him on special teams. Ew, I have a hair in my mouth. Got it. Oh, no, you didn't. Got it. Sorry. Listen, sorry, it happens. But I mean, the Lions' offense is very good when it has to be, and they're very, very good at home. And I think, listen, the Jags obviously just didn't look good in this game, and you only scored 14 points against the Lions defense. We've said it. Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
Yeah, I was real scared. I did not think that he was coming back. The fact that he came back into play, I was very surprised. I mean, even at halftime, they were down pretty big. So I would have thought,
it looked bad.
I was going to say, you kind of, in my eyes, I almost would have went, listen, we're down a little bit here at halftime. That looked real bad. Take a seat on the bench there, Blondie.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I probably would have done. But hey, he's listen, they're competitors. They're freak athletes. They want to go out there and play. That is why they are on the field. CJ, there's 2 main things I want to focus on here, though. And you asked me, and actually, no, I'll save the second one for the last point. I kind of want to play a little bit of a game with you on the second point I have. My first point, and I know we talked about this earlier in the year and you disagreed with me still. I'm not moving on from Jared Goff. Not this season. He's had an unbelievable. This might be the best year of his career, and that includes the year that he did take the Rams to the Super Bowl. Now that was really built on defense and McVay. Having Todd Gurley there still sort of being Todd Gurley, and then you obviously saw in the playoffs when he couldn't be Todd Gurley anymore, got a little bit rough. But I mean, he's having a good year. You have to fix the defense, and right now I think they have the 3rd overall pick because of the Rams. So you do 2 things here. You draft Will Anderson Jr., who just won some award in college. I can't remember what it's called because they have weird award names. I think for the best defensive player in college for the second consecutive year. Right. So you can go and get him, or you can do what I've said maybe the Bears should do, is you trade back for one of those teams that are looking for a quarterback and praying for a quarterback. You get their draft picks for, the next couple of years. Maybe you get 2. You get their first this year. You get a first next year. Maybe you get a first the year after that, maybe, depending on how bad they really want it. Whatever. But you go and you try and do that, and you get a bunch of picks, and you fix the defense. I would focus everything on the defense, and then listen, when you finally realize that Jared Goff just can't do it. And I don't mean finally realize as if they think they can do it now, but when you're like, okay, the rest of the team is really good, we definitely just need a quarterback now. Then maybe you try and go make a Stafford trade. You go and try and make, maybe an old player like a Brady. I mean, obviously nobody that good will come along again, but maybe a veteran quarterback who just wants out of his situation. He decides to be free agent. You just throw a ton of money at him. Like, I think you wait for Jared Goff to be the final piece that you need to replace. Because right now, like I said, that offense is clicking. And the defense is just really, really bad. Obviously, they hold the Jags to 14 points this week. I mean, cool, I guess. But I would fix everything before Jared Goff.
Sure. Yeah, the offense is playing well. Got to give them a lot of credit. Goff plays a big part in that. This is definitely his best season outside of the Super Bowl year with the Rams, like you just said. Dan Campbell's doing a great job in terms of calling these plays offensively. It's a great offensive mind. I mean, what the numbers they've been able to put up week in and week out, got to give him a lot of credit. I see your point. Make a valid point of fixing out the defense for sure, shoring up that defense. You think they should go defense with that pick as opposed to using both picks to trade up and get a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you go Will Anderson or whatever best defensive player you think. I think the consensus is that it is him, or you do what I said too. You take that pick, you go find a team that desperately wants a quarterback. And maybe, a quarterback slid down because, the Bears don't need a quarterback at number 2. So maybe they don't trade out of it and they want to get somebody else. That's, whatever. So now the Texans have drafted a quarterback. The Bears even if the Bears take Will Anderson, cool. Maybe you get a phone call from the Jets, from one of those teams that are like, damn, we're really a quarterback away right now. And you're like, all right, I need 3 first-round picks, though. And
3 first-round picks for what, to move up?
Yeah, to move up to the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, here's the 3rd pick.
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. They could definitely do that. I like Goff. He's cool, but I just feel like you still need that game changer at the quarterback position. And yes, their defense definitely has hurt them in some of these games. So I definitely can't take that for granted for this Lion team. But it's not really about critiquing Goff because he's done a great job. He's done a great job with this offense. A lot of people doubted him. A lot of people thought the Rams sent him to football hell. Football hell. Essentially, I put that in quotes because we know the history of the Lions over the last pretty much our whole lifetime, last few decades. So they struggled, but they turned it around. They've done a great job. And we'll see what happens going forward. We'll see what happens going forward. Jameson Williams is back. Good to see him back. Yeah, that gunner thing, putting him at gunner was very weird. Definitely an unorthodox way to debut your first round pick for the season. But nonetheless, he checked that, came out healthy, so that's good. As soon as he gets really acclimated into this offense, probably within the next couple of weeks or so, a la falling into next year, they're going to be scary. They're going to be scary. St. Brown, Williams, Swift, both Jamal Williams out the backfield. So the offensive line has done a great job in terms of protecting Goff and run blocking. So yeah, it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see potential for the Lions. It's not just here we go again, same
old Lions.
Right. It's not the same old thing. We're expecting more as seasons go on. I think that's good.
All right, I want to play this little game with you, CJ, because I think people have come to realize that I said it. I even tweeted it out on the Hard Count Twitter. Make sure you go follow it at the Hard Count. I'm a big fan of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's almost a little disrespected that because he's a little bit on the shorter side, so he doesn't get the same love that I think he would if he was just a little bit taller. But he does everything very, very well. Catches the ball well, changes direction, touchdowns, does everything you want as a wide receiver. And I think he's a top 10 wide receiver. And CJ, yesterday you asked me to make a list on Gen Z. I don't have that list, but I want to go through some things with you and see how you would rank it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and name off names. Guys, it might take a little bit longer. So I'm just going to go through the divisions and the teams and see who I'll ask. I'll just say the team, and you ask me if you would, and you say if you would take a wide receiver over St. Brown on that team. Now, there are some obvious ones here, I will say. But, maybe me and CJ will disagree on some. So, CJ, the Bills. We'll start with the AFC East. Obviously, you're taking Diggs over him.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. The Dolphins, you're taking Tyreek over him, I assume?
Yes, yeah.
Nobody on the Jets?
No.
Patriots, no.
Absolutely not.
Now once again, we're talking wide receivers. The Chiefs.
No.
Chargers.
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
You're taking both.
St. Brown's been more productive, so I'll just say Keenan Allen for now.
Okay, we'll take Keenan. So we're at 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Raiders, you're taking Devontae.
No doubt. one of one. We see. One of one.
Broncos.
Nobody.
The Ravens, no. We know how you feel. The Bengals, you take Jamar.
And Higgins. Higgins is a dog. He's a dog. Remember, before Jamar got there, he got 1,000 yards for Burrow. And remember, he got 1,000 yards and Burrow had got hurt.
Hey, Gridiron, what's going on? Welcome back.
What's going on, man?
Hines Ward was short. He's one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. Hines Ward was a dog.
He was a dog. You had to be a dog in that division during that time. Had to be a dog.
Man, it was an absolute blocking menace. The Browns.
I would still take Amari Cooper over St. Brown. Having a hell of a season.
Steelers.
Nobody. Yeah, he's not. Again, he's not in an offense like St. Brown's in. If Johnson was in this Lions offense, what would the numbers look like? He's has a the rookie throwing him the ball. It's a little different. But I'll still go with St. Brown right now. He's still producing, putting up good numbers. So yeah, I would say no one.
Titans.
Come on.
Colts.
Stop it.
Jags.
Kirk's having a hell of a year, but I'm still going St. Brown.
Okay. Texans, no.
Okay, listen, Cooks. We talk about Cooks. I don't know if he's not in that top 10. It's kind of in that in the teens, but it's a different situation. We could be talking about him differently. True. Different situation. We could be. So that's a tough one. I would say. I mean, you got to probably he's producing, man. Brown, same. He's producing, so I would go St. Brown. Yeah, he's putting up the numbers.
Eagles, you taking Brown
and Devontae Smith.
You're taking Devontae Smith over St. Brown. Okay,
that's not easy. It's not easy. It's close, very close. Again, different opportunities. I think I like St. Brown. He's great. He's a great player. But I think it's Smith. Smith, I would still take Smith over him. Very close though.
Cowboys.
CD Lamb's playing well.
Yeah,
he's been playing well these last few weeks. I mean, lights out, on pace to get a stack, 80 balls. That's a good discussion. St. Brown and Lamb. That's a good discussion. I'm here for that. I'll say wash. I'll say wash right now.
You're much higher on Smith than I am, because I thought the easy one here. I thought the one we would talk about more would be CD over. I thought you were going to take CD over St. Brown easy, and then only take EJ, and then only take AJ. I didn't even think Smith was going to be on this list. I'm interested.
No, it's close. It's close. I said I'll still take St. Brown. I'll still take
St. Brown. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Giants. Giants not even worth the discussion. You take
Commanders, McLaurin, clears him.
Okay.
Clears him. Yeah, I mean, come on. Look at the mid that's been throwing him the ball. His last career, bro. Look at the
49ers.
Debo, yeah. Good Debo.
Okay. Seahawks.
I'm still going Metcalf. And I mean, Tyler Lockett's a special football player, man. Tyler Lockett's a special football player. I mean, I don't know if I take him over St. Brown right now, but special football player. So I'll just say DK for now.
Cards, you're taking D-Hop, I assume.
Yeah, but right now it just looks like in name only. He hasn't really, obviously he's come back. He hasn't played like the D-Hop we've been expecting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the resume is still. If I need a catch, I'm gonna take DeAndre Hopkins. Need a catch on 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
No, you're right there. Yeah. Just I gotta go D-Hop. I've seen too much.
Cooper Kupp. I mean, obviously,
he's been right. He's hurt, right? Yeah. But yes, yeah, for sure.
Obviously, you take Justin Jefferson. Has Watson played good enough to take him over?
No, I can't. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, listen, this month has been amazing. We just talked about that, but you still got to give credit where it's due.
The Bears, no, I would hope.
Come on, nobody. And his bros on the team too. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely not the same player.
Yeah, no.
Bucks.
Listen, still taking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's all pro. Those all pro guys.
Falcons.
Nah, nobody.
Panthers, no. All right, maybe. I don't know.
DJ Moore. It's poverty. Poverty's been throwing the football. I was college. Went to Maryland. No good quarterbacks out of there. Then he goes to Carolina. Cam, and then just dirt/mid for his entire career. But that's a good discussion.
And then the Saints.
Yeah, just got to say no. I mean, Thomas hasn't been healthy in like 3 years, so I can't. I mean, as great as he is when he's out there, I can't just eliminate these last 36 months.
Okay, so we're in the about you're in the about 13 range.
I think that sounds good.
13, 14 range for St. Brown. Okay,
that's good. I think that's good. Him coming on the scene right now. I mean, last year he had a really good year, underrated year. This year, people starting to talk about him now because, like we said, the offense is playing better and they're putting up points and they're winning games. So the next year, he could easily get right into that top 10. Some people may have him top 10, and I wouldn't disagree. He's been balling. I definitely their best receiver since Calvin.
Oh,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah. And then
obviously not the same, but
we'll see what. Yeah, different style, right? But we'll see. We'll see. James. I think Jameson's gonna come in and potentially get himself to that wide receiver one, or they could just have, Batman Superman, which I think would be perfect. Top, yeah,
I'm,
yeah, of course, no doubt.
I think
If you wanna,
I got him top 10. A couple of you, I would take him over Smith.
yeah, I would take
Listen,
him over
I'm
Smith
gonna
too.
be real. I know it might sound crazy. I think I would take him over Higgins.
It's a good discussion. It's a good
Yeah,
discussion. I'm not mad if you. I would not
I'm making
disagree
the
with you.
top 10 list though. Don't worry.
You can make a case. You can make a great case. I just like Higgins, man. I've seen
Oh
Higgins play
yeah,
without. Yeah, I've seen him ball out with Chase, without Chase. So
bro.
I think he's a dog.
Without Chase, that man was putting up numbers.
It's just a dog. Great player.
Yeah,
Both
all
guys,
right.
great
I'm
players.
gonna have the list though. Make sure generational sports Monday 7 Eastern. CJ asked me for if I got a top 10 list. I'm in the process. I wanted to put the feelers out there, see what everybody else is thinking about where, who was better, who wasn't. Maybe I'm also so high on him because this man is cooking for my fantasy team, CJ. Cooking.
Hey,
I just put up 177 in my league this week.
that'll make you invest in a player.
I just put up 177, so I'm riding high right now.
when they're balling for you, you're looking at the stats week in, week out. That'll make you invest in a player, bro. No doubt, and he deservedly so. He deserves a lot of credit. A lot of credit.
All right, we'll move on though. I thought that was interesting. Just wanted to see, what everybody's thought process was there. We will move on. Browns and the Texans. Obviously, the big return here for Deshaun Watson goes back to the place that drafted him, and played awful. I mean, it was just he played absolutely terrible. And listen, I don't know what anybody really expected. Now I started him in a few fantasy leagues because I didn't have any other choice.
Just to see, right?
But I was hoping, it's the Texans. Maybe it'll just pop off. I've seen what other people have done to the Texans. Why not? But I mean, he was only 12 of 22, 131 yards, an interception. He ran the ball 7 times, 21 yards. I feel like he scrambled or he was very jittery in the pocket. He was throwing a lot of balls into the dirt on some pretty open passes that I thought, more reps and obviously more game action he's going to end up completing. But yeah, it just was not a very good performance for him. And like we said, it was obviously going to get better over time. We saw what he could do prior to, everything that happened. Was easily a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like easy, a top 5 quarterback. So I expect him to get back to that. Obviously, maybe it might not even be this whole season. Maybe this year he struggles the whole year. Everybody will have, to say something, but I think that he ends up returning back to his old form and will have a pretty, good time in Cleveland, especially with that run game being there. But yeah, they didn't even score
defense.
Yeah, they didn't even score a touchdown. The offense did not score a touchdown. They had 1 field goal. They had a punt return by Donovan Peoples-Jones, which was absolutely beautiful. They had a fumble 6 and a pick 6. So the offense accounted for 3 of these points. And obviously the Texans literally just cannot do anything. So they're inept. But yeah, obviously the big return of Deshaun Watson here. And didn't look good, but I don't know what you expect from a guy who's been out for, I think it was like 700 something days.
Yeah, 700 plus days. Yes. Yeah, he's rusty. He was rusty. That's expected, like you just talked about. Defensive special teams, they did a great job for Cleveland. They did a great job. He just laid down the score run for those 2 teams. I mean, for the Browns. And they just got to start collecting dubs. And hopefully as he gets better, they keep winning. That's the perfect formula for this Browns team in the second half of the year. Oh, this last quarter of the year, I should say. Second half is pretty much almost done. So exactly. And the Texans, they fought early. They're going to play off adrenaline because of the circumstances. But more, just Kyle Allen just didn't see him.
First play of the game interception.
Yeah, just didn't see him coming out and really balling out. It's just not that type of guy. Lovie Smith, I mean, I feel for him, but I don't. I mean, you took the job even though you knew you were going to be dirt. So, listen, there's only 32 of these jobs. So if somebody says, "Hey, you want to be an NFL head coach?" Even though it's the Texans, you probably,
Jeff
still take.
Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you still gotta take that job. That's a premier job in this country. So I get it, but damn, I mean, it makes his record look so bad. They're probably gonna go 1-15-1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So if they hopefully they keep him. Hopefully they keep him. Hopefully they don't just let him fire him and then get a new head coach and then draft a quarterback and then it's lit all over again and they do him dirty like that. That would be a problem.
I think they're going to. I think this is the exact same thing as the Cardinals did.
See, and I would have a problem with that. I would have a problem with that. Now, if you're gonna have him be there and be the coach when y'all dirt, and then not have him be there and try to bring the quarterback in and try to bring some new identity, new life to this Texan team, completely get rid of him, get a guy, say that quarterback becomes great, and now he's without a job or he's going back to a coordinator job after he just sat there and had to go through a 1-15-1 season for you guys. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I would have an issue with that if that's the direction they're going to go in. If you trust him to be there during the losses, give him an opportunity to build a winning organization as well. Like, what are we doing here? It's not like what is that? So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Been a lot of stories around that organization over the last couple of years. So not just Deshaun. So, but yeah, Cleveland, they did a great job on defense and on special teams. Complimentary football. Underrated aspect of this game. We don't want to talk about it enough. We love the quarterbacks, but there's going to be games where those other two phases are step up and get W's for you, and that's what happened for Cleveland on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does moving forward. I mean, like I said, he was an unbelievable fun watch. When he was at the top of his game. So
yeah,
we'll find out. Talk about an unbelievable game. The Jets and the Vikings. CJ, Zach Wilson's never getting his job back, first of all. It's not listen, it's over in New York. They're wearing Mike effing White t-shirts. They're talking, after the game, Garrett Wilson, I'd go to war with him. I love him, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what Zach Wilson did in that locker room because you can't tell me that it was just the comments over. I don't think it was just the comments over like we didn't let down the defense. There's no way it's just that to the point of like because technically listen,
it's much more than that. It's much more.
It's much more than that, and especially because, once again, this might be a pessimistic way of looking at things, but every time you talk about how easy it is for Mike White to make the offense look and how good the offense is with Mike White, that's also a dig at Zach Wilson. Like, you have to understand in your mind where you're saying, oh yeah, Mike White makes everything look so easy. That's also saying, God, when Zach Wilson was in here, it was pathetic.
Yes.
So it's definitely a little bit of a dig there. And yeah, did Mike White have an unbelievable game? No. Had 2 interceptions in this one. I don't think one of them was his fault. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one. I think it bounced off of somebody. But I mean, listen, you're also asking him to throw the ball 57 times. The run game obviously wasn't doing too much, or wasn't giving him any help. 369 yards, had the rushing touchdown that they on the 4th and goal, I believe it was, that they said he didn't get. Then they went back and reviewed it. That Mike White did end up getting it. But listen, he's also the reason you were in the game. Like that 4th and 10 pass to Garrett Wilson, I believe it was over the middle. Unbelievable.
Yes.
I think they should have won the game. He hit Braxton Berrios in the hands. You have to catch that ball. I'm sorry. Is it the most beautiful, hit you perfectly in the chest, or you're standing still, all you had to do is put your hands out, catch? No. It was a little bit in front, I believe. I think it was in front of him a little bit. It looked like he was kind of going to the ground as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 hands on the ball, you got to end up catching that one. I mean, he didn't even get hit either. Like he was just going to the ground and he ends up dropping it. So, in all seriousness, the Jets probably should have ended up winning this game.
That when he's in the back of the end zone, right? He tried to bring it. He tried to bring it to his body.
No, it was on the it was the fourth and goal. It was the fourth and goal all the way at the end of the game that he threw to Braxton Berrios in between the two Viking defenders. You gotta catch that.
Right.
Like I just think you gotta end up catching that. Obviously, he doesn't. The Vikings then just knee it out and they ended up winning the game. But listen, Mike White is also the reason you're in this game. Are you putting up 22 points with Zach Wilson? I don't know. Listen. We just talked about how, the Patriot offense looked unbelievable against the Viking defense. So maybe it's just, even Zach Wilson could have done this because the Viking defense. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have been possible. So it's definitely over in my eyes. And this also might be a little bit of a stretch. I don't care. I think the Vikings are the worst 10-2 team I've ever seen. I think they're frauds. I think they're bouncing the first round of the playoffs. Like don't get me wrong, they win all of these one possession games, and it is their year. Look, this is why next year you look at some regression for the Vikings, because whenever the year you win all the one possession games, you lose all of them the next year. So I look for a little bit of regression. Maybe it is just a year where they're going to go on and win a bunch of one possession games, because they're kind of like, in a way, just a worse version of the old Patriot defenses, We're like, remember some of those runs?
Bend but don't break.
Yeah, Patriots were very bend but don't break, and that's what the Vikings are now. But I think when they start playing the more elite offenses, they're going to break. like CJ, and I mean, this is kind of going into next week. They're underdogs against the Lions.
I mean,
the Vikings are I believe 2-point underdogs against the Lions in Detroit. Obviously,
I could change. Yeah, it's in Detroit, so I see why.
You 10-2 versus 5-7, though. I mean, crazy.
So
that's what Vegas tells you.
Yeah, but Vegas is top 5 offense. And then like you just said, they struggle against top offenses in the league. The Eagles,
shout out the Eagles,
and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys. Those are the two high-powered offenses they've struggled against. Now, granted, different quarterbacks for that, but we talked about how well Goff has played. So, and they beat the Vikings last year. That was their first win of the season. So it's a divisional game. Yeah, it's a divisional game. It's going to be close. So I'm not surprised by that line. It may change by Friday.
Oh, I think it will.
Yeah.
I think the Viking faithful will be, I can't believe they're giving us points.
Yeah. and
then they'll bet it down. But it was a very good game. This was one of the games that, I don't know if it's because we're in New York and I'm so used to bad football, but I was glued. And especially because the Patriots weren't playing. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of glued to the Jet Viking game, and I was kind of also glued to that game right below with the Commanders and the Giants. I had one on the TV, one on the phone, and then the NFL, Sunday Ticket on the laptop. But I was glued to the screen, as I usually am. But listen, very good game. Obviously, the Vikings come out and win this one. And I just think Mike White is the guy moving forward. And the thing that I'm still kind of confused about, though, is Robert Saleh after the game, and even talking to reporters on Monday, do you still see a situation? You said earlier that even when Zach Wilson got benched, that he's going to play again this season. Do you still see that? Oh yeah, I still see a lane for him, to come back and play this season. Absolutely, he's going to. When is he going to play? If Mike White, I think if Mike White goes out and loses the rest of the games of the season, but they're exactly like this, Zach Wilson's not coming back into play.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough to find a reason to put him back in the game if Mike White's playing this well, and also the team. You gotta. Again, I understand he's a head coach, so not only is he the manager of these guys from the player standpoint, you also got to say the right things in front of the media and things like that. This is their number 2 draft pick that they drafted last year, so you don't want to completely shoot down his confidence. You want to make sure that he has an ability to somehow, some way salvage his career. And you would hope as an organization it would be under the Jets. Is that going to happen? That's going to be up to him. This last week, he's going to have to be able to earn the trust of those guys back. However that may be, he has to do that. Whether it's being a leader in practice, going that extra mile, in the film room, things like that. You got to get your job back. Nothing's given to you. You got to work your way back to the top. And this is a make or break situation for Zach Wilson. This is a cutthroat league. This is not BYU where you could get hurt or you could say whatever you want or do whatever you want, and the person behind you isn't threatening your job. You know you're good. This is different. This is the NFL. This is a different landscape, and you get hurt or the team doesn't buy in. Another guy steps up, they buy in, and they respect him. They want to ride for that guy. You're gonna get lost, and right now he's lost. So we're gonna see if he's able to find his way back into good graces with this team. But right now, Mike White has the keys, and he's doing a pretty solid job. They took the L against the Minnesota team. This is the Minnesota team. If they expect to be where they want to be down the road, this is a team you needed to beat, and they did that. It was close. Got close to the end. They made it very close. Mike White shouldn't be throwing the ball 50-something times. That's not the Jets' formula for success.
57.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, Vikings. They're gonna. I think they're right there. I think they're right there. And if those guys got some pride in their ability and what they want to do, they come out. If they see Dallas, if they see Philadelphia in the playoffs, they're gonna want to come out and ball to try to get that one. To try to get that one back. So I can see. I understand your point when you're saying they're frauds because again, Kirk Cousins national time games does step up, definitely struggles, but it's still a different team. And if they want to come together and do something special, they have that opportunity going forward.
Yeah. And also, it was fun. I don't know if you watched this game. It was fun seeing the Sauce, Justin Jefferson matchup a little bit. I saw, Jefferson beat him on that touchdown pass that he ended up scoring on. So fun. Those fun little matchups that you see in the NFL, obviously. And Jefferson's obviously one of the best wide receivers in the league, and Sauce took it. He, learning experience.
Yeah, it's a good battle. It's a good battle. I mean, Jefferson's one of the best in the world, and Sauce is trying to get himself to that spot as a DB, and he's getting there. And he's had a hell of a rookie season, so it's a good battle between two greats.
Absolutely. Commanders and the Giants. We had the good old 2020 tie. Listen, I get on soccer all the time for tying. Now we're tying in football too. Unbelievable. Yeah, listen, it was just, I thought there were like two sides of this game. There was the front side of it where I was like, there's no doubt in my mind that Washington wins this game. Like they're 10-0 in the first quarter. The Giants weren't really doing anything. I was like, okay. So the Commanders are definitely winning this game. Then it's tied going into halftime. And then it's tied 13-13 going into halftime. And the Giants come out and score a touchdown in the third quarter. And I'm like, okay, now the Giants are definitely winning this game. Washington goes down. They end up scoring a touchdown in the fourth quarter, which obviously tied it at 20. And then we go into overtime. Nobody can end up doing anything. But listen, it's better than a loss. It's not a win, but a tie is better than a loss. Some people are getting on Dable why he wasn't more aggressive. I think at about midfield in overtime, it was a 4th and something, and he didn't end up going for it. He ended up punting it away. I think it's that whole 2020 vision. Or everything's 2020. Why can't I think of the actual saying? What's the actual saying?
Hindsight 2020.
Thank you. Hindsight's 2020. Jesus. Listen, I'm not the smart one of this program, as you guys can tell. But hindsight's 2020 of like, oh, you should have went for it because now look, we tied or whatever. Okay. Well, listen. Then he goes for it. They don't get it, and the Commanders need a 15-yard pass to get into field goal range. And listen, at the end of overtime, They did get the Giants did end up getting into field range. I think it was like a 56-yard field goal that is it Graham Gano still their kicker?
Yep,
I believe it is. Was going to have to end up kicking it. He missed it short. So they almost did their job. But a 2020 tie, and they meet again, not this week, but the week after. The Giants have to play the Eagles this week. I don't know who the Commanders are playing, but
Commanders on a bye. Got a bye.
Commanders on a bye. Okay, so obviously they're going to run it back. Commanders are going to be a little bit healthier, obviously. Daniel Jones, not much in the passing, I would say, which is, he did do well in the passing game. He had I think he had one incompletion in the first half, and it was on a spike. So he was very
accurate. Play well.
25 to 31, 200 yards, had a touchdown. He did a lot of running in this game. He had 12 carries for 71 yards. He did a lot of escaping the pocket and moving it and using his legs pretty effectively. So that was good on him. And then it's just that typical Taylor Heineke, man. He does just enough, I feel like, every single week. And Jahan Dotson with that spin move to score the touchdown was absolutely gorgeous. Terry McLaurin 8 for 105 and a touchdown. That he was unbelievable as well. But yeah, they're gonna run it back in a couple of weeks, and it's about that time. And this is when we're gonna determine who's making the playoffs and not, because the Seahawks came back and won their game against the Rams, which we'll get into obviously in a little bit.
Yeah.
Technically the Packers are still alive and everything like that, but I think right now it's kind of like Seahawks and then the rest of the NFC East. Obviously the Cowboys will get in, and then I think it's the Giants, Seahawks in right now, and Commanders on the outside looking in. But Giants play the Eagles this week. They lose. Maybe they coming off a bye. The Commanders at home beat the Giants. All of a sudden the Giants are out. So it's getting to about that time, and it was a hell of a game. This was a fun watch, I will say.
Yeah, it was a good game. Went down to the wire. Giants had their opportunities. Commanders had their opportunities. Slayton dropped that, which should have been a gimme. It was a great pass by Daniel Jones. Yeah, it was a little high, but you got to make that play. If you're when you're in the NFL, you have to be able to make that play, and that could have won them the game. He makes that pass. They're right there in field goal range. Make a couple plays, try to center it up for Gano. Could have been a wrap right there. You win the game, but unfortunately that did not happen. Giants struggled early in the first half. So the Commanders, they came out and played well, and then the Giants came back in the second half, stepped out there up by a touchdown, gave up that late drive in the end, which led to them tying the game. And the reason why this is close, Commanders have McLaurin, and the Giants don't have anything close to that.
Yeah.
We got a guy like Scary Terry. You got a guy like Scary Terry on that side. You have to account for him. He's a weapon. He's unstoppable. 8 receptions, like you said, for a buck. He's a game changer, and the Giants, they need that game changer. Is it going to be Odell? We don't know. He visited the Giants for 2 days towards the end of last week. Visited with the Cowboys. We saw him at the game last night, at the Maverick game, sitting next to Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. So we'll see what his direction is in a couple of days, rather soon.
Well, you see all the stuff that came out with him today?
In regards to what?
That the Cowboys aren't sure because of
the ACL, right?
Yeah, because of his knee, and they don't think it's to the point of where they think it should be. And I mean, hey, listen, he's not working out for teams, so does that tell you something as well? He wants the contract, but he won't work out for. So it's I wonder what happens with Odell. I do, because now if you're refusing to work out for teams, I don't think that they're doing full physicals on him. I saw they're not doing full physicals on him. Well, I saw one doctor say on Twitter that no team should sign him until he gets a new MRI, because that's how you're actually going to see things.
Right. I feel like that when you get the physical, that's what you get. You get the MRI.
Well, I don't think,
because they check to see.
I don't think they've gotten new MRI images, because even if he's not working out, but you take a look at the MRI and you're like, oh, look, it's fine. Would you really care that he's not working out for you? But now that he's not working out with you, and I don't think he's gotten those MRIs, is it kind of Hey Odell, what's going on here, buddy?
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird because if you're going to bring a guy in, you do the physical. If he has any injuries, you want to make sure you get your own information on that. That's why you do the MRIs, you do things like that. You test them out. So yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting news that you just dropped just now on that situation. So we will see how that plays out. That clearly could be a factor in his next destination. But just for this game specifically for the Giants, that's still what they need. They still need a guy. They're screaming for just anyone on the outside that can make plays consistently. I mean, it's it kind of sucks that they're banking on a guy coming off an ACL injury to be that savior on the outside, but that's just how special Odell is. That's the type of talent that he has. So he could definitely carry that type of weight on his shoulders if need be. It's a lot of weight, and I don't think it's a lot to ask of a guy coming off an injury to save your wide receiver group, because you've been terrible at either drafting or acquiring via free agency at that position outside of Odell over the last few years. But that is just what they need. You just see it. You just see that's what they need in order to get over the hump. I mean, you could only scheme things up for so long. You got to have game changers on the field to sometimes when the scheme breaks down, who's going to be that guy that's just going to make a play, and they don't necessarily have that at the wide receiver position, and that's why they struggle, and that's why some of these games they maybe potentially should have won. It's they either lose or in this scenario get a tie.
I hate ties so much.
Yeah, I just saw it formulating, man. The way both of those teams are playing, and they just kept getting 3 and outs. The way the defense is too. The defense was playing lights out. That front seven in DC, it just sucks, man. Because
how would you fix OT in the NFL?
I think it's. I think it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. I like the rules. I like the rules. I like not having the. I like potentially not having the tie.
See, I like. All right, how about this? How about this though? How about you play the full overtime period? If it ends in a tie, you go to the college rule.
The only thing with that is you could be there for a while, and then you're asking these guys to go play a Thursday night game. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's just win the game. You got 60 minutes.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
You got 60 minutes. Should be worried about all that extra stuff.
68 minutes or 70 minutes if you play overtime.
If you play overtime, exactly. You got 70 if you play OT. How about let's win it in regulation? How about that?
It would certainly help.
Yeah,
certainly help. But hey, listen, good game, and we'll see. Maybe they can tie again in a couple of weeks. At this rate. We move on though. Titans at the Eagles, and this was brutal. I thought this was going to be a very good game. I really did. And I think these are the kind of games where, like, you look at, like, because honestly, and you can only play who's in front of you. The Eagles' schedule is not the most daunting thing you've ever seen in your entire life. But listen, Vikings are 10-2. They destroyed them. The Titans play everybody close, and a very hard-nosed football team, whatever, absolutely destroyed them. They beat the Cowboys. Now listen, they didn't have Dak at that point, but Cooper Rush was playing very, very well, and the defense is still what the defense is. They ended up beating them. So, the Eagles just absolutely murder the Titans. And CJ, I think the MVP discussion was fun before, and you don't know who it really was. Obviously you had Mahomes in there. You can have Allen in there. You can have Tyreek in there. You can have Parsons in there. Whatever. Whoever you wanted to name. I think there's now a gap. I think there's a gap now.
A gap?
Yeah. I don't think it's, the Grand Canyon. Okay. When Brady had the touchdown record and it was everybody else, it was like, all right, why are we even voting on this? But I think there's a gap now. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the league. 29 to 39, 380, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 12 yards rushing, which, obviously is special, but another touchdown on the ground as well. So 4 total touchdowns, no turnovers in this game, has an 11-1 record. I just think that there's a gap in the MVP race now. I think it is clearly Jalen Hurts at this point right now. Now, listen, can that obviously change? Of course it can. You know, he can go the next 4 weeks and, you know, turn the ball over 3 times a game and not throw any touchdown passes. And we're like, okay, well, he had a good run, but it's over now. Kind of, I mean, listen, it kind of ruined Josh Allen's chance when he went on that 3-week stretch of 2 turnovers a game. It kind of, brought him down, obviously, because I think it was pretty clearly him before. But I mean, listen, the Eagles they dismantled them. AJ Brown had 8 for 119, 2 touchdowns against his former team. You can see that he really wanted to play good in this game. Your boy Devonta Smith, 5 for 102 and a touchdown in this game as well. They didn't even have to do much on the ground.
That's a number 2.
That's a number 2. That's a number 2. You're right. But yeah, I mean, the Eagles did everything. You know, their run defense isn't the greatest thing you'll ever see. And I mean, listen, Derrick Henry didn't do anything. He got 11 carries for 30 yards. They absolutely shut him down, and that is obviously the plan. No, but I mean, when you're averaging 2.7 yards a carry, it's, you know,
11 for your best player.
Yeah,
that's like LeBron only getting 10 points in the game.
I think it's two. I think it's
like, he didn't shoot. He's like, he didn't shoot more, only 10.
I think the problem is twofold, though. See, that's the only thing. I think the problem is twofold. At the fact of like 11 carries for 30 yards, so it wasn't a lot. And I mean, also at halftime, you're down 21-10, and then they immediately come out in the third quarter, score again. So
that's my thing with the Titans offense is like, okay, he could catch the football. Like he's not McCaffrey, but he could get the football in other ways. I feel like they just use him as a power back. They could use him in other ways. And I feel like that would also keep him fresher. Also,
if only they had an outside threat, you know, that they could throw the ball to when, you know, they were down and struggling and the run game wasn't working. If only they had some type of, you know,
listen, Traylon Burks looked good before he got hurt. Prayers up with the concussion. He's making plays for them. He's a young guy, but he's not AJ Brown. We know this. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Right on cue. Exactly. You know, he's a young guy. He's going to continue to make plays. That was definitely a scary injury, a scary watch for Burks. Like I said, prayers up to him. But yeah, this was a revenge game for AJ Brown. Everything that happened, he wanted to stay a Titan. Just the money and circumstances didn't work out. You pay you extend Tannehill, but you don't extend your second best player on the offense. Okay, well, this is what happens. And another facts. It's just another opportunity for someone else to use his talents. And that's exactly what Philadelphia has done. 35-10. You said you got Hurts number 1. I can't disagree right now. Mahomes took the L. If you're going by a week-to-week basis, those are my top 2 guys in the MVP race. I think Josh Allen has an opportunity to get himself in this discussion if he has a great month, and they could potentially get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They have a couple tiebreakers. They beat Kansas City already, so if they win out,
beat Tennessee, beat the Ravens.
Yeah, they just got to see Miami, and get past Miami, and then we'll see what happens there. So, Josh Allen, Mahomes, but I think Hurts, right now, clear cut. Is the favorite for MVP. They got the best record in the NFL. No one expected this. If there was a most improved award in the NFL, he'd get that as well. So he's having a phenomenal season. People doubted him. People didn't think he'd be a pocket passer. Silencing all the doubts, eliminating all the negative narratives, and creating his own. That's the beauty of this game. You create your own story, and he's creating a great one right now for the season.
Yeah, it's just the dual threat, man. It's not Lamar level, but it's
different. It's not Lamar level, but it's still exactly dominant
because Lamar's very elusive,
right?
And Jalen Hurts can literally run you over. Like that whole squatting like 600-pound things is real. Like you see the QB sneaks that they do, where it's like him, and then they just put like the tight end running back and another tight end behind him, and they just turn their legs. And I don't know how you stop that.
Yeah, like, Kelsey right there. You can't stop that. Yeah,
Kelsey's I mean, listen, we don't talk about offensive linemen a lot. Kelsey's the best center of this generation, right?
So
I mean,
talking about the last 10 years.
he's a
Yeah, I mean, off top, I mean, Pouncey brothers were pretty good.
Nick Mangold was very good, but I mean,
McNagel was really good, really good. Yeah, he's in that discussion. Yeah,
Hall of Famer, I would say.
I have to look at his numbers. I don't know off top. You know, when I think about, you know, again, my Hall of Fame is different. My Hall of Fame is different. I have to look at the numbers. Offensive line is tricky. You obviously look at Pro Bowls and All Pros for those guys because it's not a bunch of you're not tallying up pancakes
No.
for O linemen. So you got to look at a couple other things when you watch these guys. You got to look at their rushing offense, pass protection offense. That's how you kind of judge these O linemen.
So he's been a 4-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowl. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Damn, he was a 6th-round pick too.
Yeah, he's gonna make it to the Hall. He's gonna make it to the Hall. You know, he keeps playing like this around this offense.
Athletic as hell too.
Yeah, he's gonna get another All Pro this year, another Pro Bowl this year. So you can
like
just add
those screen passes. He's 10 yards down the field running with linebackers. I'm like, bro, you're big as hell.
And his people thought. I mean, he was about to call it a career too. A couple years ago,
I know. He was going to retire this offseason. Nick Sirianni, you know, bought him a nice keg of beer and brought him back.
Run it back, man. It's a great situation for him.
Do you think it's a better unit in the NFC, Eagles offense or 49ers defense? Oof.
That's a good question.
I would love to see that game. First of all, hopefully that's an NFC championship game with, you know, a healthy Jimmy, which obviously we'll get to right after this Seahawks Rams game.
I wish they had a better different quarterback, man. No disrespect, but
nah, of course. I mean, listen, I think I lean to the Eagles offense, and it is very close and I think I give them the edge because I know how good the 49ers front is, but that's also the Eagles' strength. Like Lane Johnson has given up a sack in 2 years.
Incredible.
We just talked about Kelsey, how good he is. They have Mailata, is that his name?
Yep, Mailata, left tackle.
Mm-hmm. They have him as well. Obviously, like we just said, Hurts is having an unbelievable year. You have a certified dog in AJ Brown. You got another one over there with Smith. You have a carousel of running backs who, honestly, listen, are any of them special? No. Are they all above average? I would say, yeah, probably.
Sure.
So, I think that their offensive unit is. I mean, listen. Obviously, you go with the 49ers. You got Fred Warner, who I think is the best. I mean,
Bosa.
Yeah.
You know, fire sack celebration.
I think what?
I'm here again. Yeah, I'm here again. What can you say? That celebration is
got Bosa, who I think is the new sack leader in the NFL. Like I said, I think Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL.
Yes.
It's tough.
It's not even close. He's a dog, man. I'm gonna go 49ers defense.
Okay.
What they did to Miami, that's pretty light. I mean, no one's really shut down Miami like that this year. With Tua starting.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a performance by them. We'll see what happens with the quarterback. We're getting into that in a couple minutes, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers defense. Eagles offense obviously is phenomenal, but that defense is hellacious, man.
Unbelievable.
Their
defensive coordinator is going to get a job this season, guaranteed.
Yeah, I hope D'Amico Ryans gets a job. He was a great linebacker during his time. Had some really good years in the NFL. He knows the game of football. He should get a job. If Salah got a job off this 49ers defense, he should get one too. Remember, he was the DC last year when he was at the NFC Conference Championship game. He should get a job next season. Come on. These owners, wake up.
That's all we do, Gridiron. All good points. We appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
I mean, Seahawks and Rams, that's up next. Nice comeback win for the Seahawks, obviously, you know. keeping their playoff chances alive. I thought that they were going to be like 3-14. I really did. But the playoff chances are obviously still alive, 7-5. Listen, Gino with another great game. I mean, 28-39, 367, had 3 touchdowns in the game, did throw an interception. What are you going to do? Kenneth Walker, he ends up getting hurt in this game, has a little bit of a leg injury. I think his thing he might actually has a chance to play this week. If not, he should be good for the week after. So obviously he avoided a major injury, which is good because he's been having an unbelievable rookie season, as we have seen. Yeah, and then the 2 boys, they went off. Tyler Lockett, 9 for 128, a touchdown. DK, 8 for 127, a touchdown. And then, listen, I mean, the Rams are just in shambles. I mean, it is just not good.
So much so. Who'd they pick up?
Mr. Baker Mayfield in at quarterback potentially for the Rams.
What's your thoughts on that, bro?
I think that just tells me that Stafford's out for the season. There's no point in bringing him back. They put him on IR. They said, he could return later on. He's not going to return anymore. You're just going to give the job to Baker, I would assume. Maybe not this week. He comes in, learns the playbook. He plays next week instead of Wolford or whatever the hell his name is. And I don't know. It's kind of nothing because, listen, it's like this is weird, right? Because you look at the Rams and you're like, oh, well, they have a great team, obviously, whatever. But you look at them without Cooper Kupp, like Tutu Atwell and Brandon Powell, Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek. Like, they don't have – it's Cooper Kupp and then, like, everybody else. And, like, yeah, they were supposed to have Allen Robinson. He got hurt as well.
That's why Odell was such a big piece for them last year.
Yeah.
Had a clear cut, 1B, number 2, whatever you want to.
So, I mean, it's just this isn't – I mean, and nobody is, but it's not the Bengals where it's like, oh, look, Jamar got hurt. Okay, whatever. We have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Like, I know a lot of teams aren't like that. Like, obviously, you can look at the Bucks too, where it's like, okay, Godwin goes down, but we still have Evans, and if Julio would stay on the field, or last year and the year before when it was Antonio Brown there and things of that nature. But I mean, Cooper Kupp goes down, and it's like Tutu Atwell. like, what are we doing now? And the defense just doesn't seem. Yeah, no draft picks either. So they're in a tough spot here.
Yeah, man.
So it just doesn't look good for the Rams. Obviously, they don't have their first round pick. If they did, they would be holding the 3rd overall pick in the draft. That is how bad is this? CJ, is this the worst Super Bowl defending team you've ever seen? Because I think it is for me.
I would say so. As of late.
I mean, I think you think of the Broncos the next year. I mean, they missed the playoffs. So I don't think they were 3-9 bad, were they? They
missed the playoffs after they won. After they beat the Panthers.
Yeah, after they beat the Panthers because
Peyton retired. Right. Yeah. Right. Yes.
I mean, the Patriots were never bad after their Super Bowls. The Seahawks were right back.
Yep.
The Chiefs were obviously right back.
Chiefs went right back. Yeah, they're definitely in recent time.
I think the Eagles took a step down, but I mean, like I said, not 3-9.
They went back, but Wentz got hurt. Remember?
But they weren't, top of the draft.
No, not at all. This is definitely the worst Super Bowl defending team after winning the chip season for sure in the last 10 years.
Huh?
No question about it. Yeah, Seattle, wow. They just had a phenomenal season. Had a phenomenal season. Hats off to Gino. He's going to get a bag. He's just, with every single game, it's just increasing his dollar amount for next season. So happy for him. And just it's looking like West Virginia. Gino, I said this a couple of weeks ago too. I said, he's looking like when he was throwing the football to Taywan Olsen and Stedman Bailey back at West Virginia, because you got guys like Lockett and DK on the outside. They're running the football. That offensive line is better than it's ever been, especially over those last few years under Russell Wilson. So they're protecting Gino pretty well. Defense is young. They're fresh. They're hungry. It's a great story. It's a great story. It's why we love this game so much because we the unexpected always happens, and they're one of these teams. 2001's Ravens weren't great, but also had a QB change, right? Trent Dilfer left, and I think they were with Bolger, right? So Seattle, wow, they're gonna get themselves in the playoffs. They're gonna get a they might. I don't know if they're gonna get a home game.
Nah, there'll be a wild
Because
card.
San Fran. I think San Fran is still win this division, but they're going to be a tough out for any one of these teams. That first round, you look at we got Seattle. That's not okay. We're going to win this one. We're going to win this one today in advance. Not quite, not quite. They got a couple really good players on that team on both ends of the field. So go back to the last couple comments. I missed that. I think from
We
Corey. I
had
think from Corey.
okay.
Comeback player of the year for sure. Fitzpatrick on Rosillo Pass said Gino was one of the best he ever saw throw the ball. Yeah, Gino arm was never in question. Never in question. Yeah, 100% Gino. Facts. Yeah, Gino's arm the talent was never in question. It was probably just the game just wasn't slow. It wasn't slowing down for him. He just wasn't able to read things that well over these first couple years because he was on the Jets. I thought I was a little scared because like at West Virginia, he was a dog. He was a beast. He was a beast at West Virginia. So I was like, when the Jets picked him up, I was like, oh man, we gotta have to worry about this guy. But it just goes to show. It just goes to show you. Only you could create your story, bro. Only you could create your story, man. This guy's 30 years old. You think, he's been a backup relatively majority of his career up until this point. Starter, he's not gonna be a starter. He's not gonna have a revelation and be the starter in the second half of his career. This is not happening. This is impossible. You create what's possible. You create what's possible for you. And he's doing a phenomenal job. He's gonna get a big bag, probably 30 per.
No, you
Why
think?
not? Why not? Why not? I got all the leverage.
I don't
Why
know.
not? You're gonna get it from somebody. You're gonna get it from somebody. He's gonna get it from somebody.
I think it'll be somewhere in the 20s. I don't think he gets 30.
Listen, they go to the playoffs. They go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. I need 30. I need 30. What? If I'm his agent, this is what I'm saying. You guys didn't really think Gino's gonna be good. Come on. You thought he was gonna be a stopgap. Right. Let's be honest. That's what I'm saying if I'm his agent. I need 30. And you win the playoff game, that's a lock. That 30 is a lock. 30 is a lock.
I would be very interested to see his contract negotiations.
You don't think he's gonna get 30 if they win a playoff game? You don't think he's gonna see 30?
I still don't think he would. 28.
I mean, okay, it's like $2 million difference.
Hey, $2 million.
Okay, I mean that's another player. It could be another player.
26 maybe.
Yeah, all right, I'll work with you. I'll say 25 to 30. 25
okay,
to 30.
we can.
And that 20
we
that
can go
25 to 30 range is what I'm seeing. Because a couple weeks ago I said 25, but now I'm like, if they win a playoff game, I need a couple more zeros.
See, here's my thing. Do you go if you're the Seahawks? Are you like, listen, buddy, look at the rest of your career. This was obviously how good we are at coaching you. Go somewhere else and do this. Oh wait, you haven't.
Sure, that they could say that. They could say that, but I could also say, again, you guys thought I was going to be Teddy Bridgewater. And no disrespect to Teddy, but let's just call it how it is.
Well, you listen.
That's
when
what
you're
they thought
right,
I was going to be.
CJ. When you're right, you're right.
They thought it was going to be a stop. They thought it was going to be a stopgap, a bridge guy, and I'm coming in here and I'm leading the team to the playoffs in a division that has been competitive over the last few years. It's not as competitive this year. It's taking a step back, obviously, for the reasons we just talked about. But it's still very competitive. It's still a division you can't sleep on. You can't just wake up and say, "Oh, we're playing the Cardinals, Rams. This is a cakewalk." As we saw, it was a close game. It was a close game, and they had Walford on the center.
Yeah, they had listen, Gino took him on a game-winning drive.
Yes. So on the road. I know SoFi is not, Lambeau, but It's still
not exactly Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, it's not supreme home field advantage by any means, but it's still on the road. It's still a divisional game, and they got it done. I need 30 if I win a playoff game. Automatic. If they beat the Cowboys or the Vikings in the first round, I need 30, bro. Come on. You can't argue with me there. You can't argue if they win. If they beat
beat a team like that, I mean,
hey, come on, from somebody. If it's not from Seattle, it's going to be from somebody. It's going to be from somebody.
Hey, we're gonna see.
Has to be. What do we like? That's all the leverage right there. Are you kidding me?
No, you're right. Listen, you're right.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a season. It's perfect too because I was a little scared because I'm like, look at the talent of DK and Lockett. They're going to waste that for 2 years until they find a guy. So I'm happy it's working out like this. I really am. I want to see those guys flourish, get good numbers with a solid quarterback. I have dirt at quarterback. Then DK's asking because we were saying he's going to ask for a trade and this is that. I'm glad that's not the discussions we're having about Seattle. We're talking about
would certainly. That's what everybody thought was going to happen.
Yes, yeah. It was like, oh, DK, yeah, he got the bag. It's okay. He's going to get traded after a year. He asked for a trade. He's going to do the AJ Brown.
Hey, Seattle's got the third pick,
and it's perfect scenario. They're still there, a young team with a veteran quarterback. You're not paying him $50 million. It's 30. And I'm not saying it's a 6-year deal. It's probably 3. So let's also throw that out there too. I'm not saying he should be there for 6-7 years. Nice, calm, 3 over 90, 60, 70 something guaranteed. And let's rock. Yeah, let's rock. That's it.
I look at this draft order like every show, and it disgusts me every time I look at it that the Eagles have a top 5 pick. It's
great team building. Great team building and a little bit of luck.
Picks 3 through 5 aren't even owned by the person that's supposed to be there. It's Denver, LA, New Orleans, and instead it's Seattle, Detroit, Philly. What a crazy time.
What a crazy time.
And those are all teams that are way better than we thought they were going to be.
Higher upside going forward too, because of the picks like you just talked about.
Denver was supposed to be great, so that pick wasn't going to matter. Rams were going to be great. That pick wasn't going to matter. New Orleans, I thought they were competing for a playoff spot this year. We said at the beginning of the year. Now it's a top 5 pick. Unbelievable what the NFL does to us.
It's the beauty of the game. Beauty of the game. You don't know what's going to happen, man. That's why we love this game so much. All right, we got the Dolphins and the 49ers. We kind of really talked about the 49ers over these last few minutes. Gridiron asked us a great question. In regards to what group will we take, Eagles offense or 49ers defense, and we kind of split there, but obviously still had great points for both sides and agree. This is a beatdown. This is a beatdown by this 49er defense. Nick Bosa looking like defensive player of the year. Clear cut favorite right now. With a month left, this Miami offense. They got it going. They made it close for a little bit there.
First play of the game.
Yeah, first play of the game. Schofield, former Niner, took it to the crib. I was like, okay, that's how you start the game. But then I think the Niner defense started to wake up, did a great job getting the Tua, making things tough. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt. He goes down. They're saying it's not season ending.
Yes, it's no longer a broken foot. It's a Liz Frank.
7 to 8 weeks. To me, that sounds like a season-ending injury, bro. We got 4 weeks left. You're telling me he's gonna come into the game after missing 8 weeks and play in the NFC Conference Championship game? Yeah, okay.
Well,
yeah, okay. Say Purdy's playing well, and he say they go in their next 7, they go 5-2 with Purdy. You're putting Jimmy in? Stop it.
I saw Rappaport say that 7 weeks would be the divisional round. So
okay, right. Still though, that's a lot of football being played before then. Though. That's a lot of football. Purdy plays well, 5-2 in 7 games. Yeah, I'm not.
He's still going back to Jimmy
for what?
Because he's got him there before. It's familiarity.
Man,
I think they would still go back because of the familiarity.
Yo, right. He's a good quarterback. Right? He's solid. But when you have a stat, when you have a stat of you being undefeated without throwing a touchdown, champ,
No.
I mean,
No. And you're a quarterback? No, I'm not. I can't ride with you, man. I can't do it.
if Purdy were to win a Super Bowl, it would create the ultimate three-way quarterback controversy.
It'd be insane. It would be insane.
I think. Well, listen, I'll tell you. No, that would be absolute insanity.
Whoa.
And if Purdy like actually played good, because like if you win a Super Bowl, but like all 3 games, it was like, oh, we threw a touchdown pass, but the defense held him to 5 points or 2 points a game. I'm talking baseball numbers right now. Held him to 3 points a game. Like then you're like, okay, well, did he really do anything, or
what you mean? We're saying that for Garoppolo for like 3 years.
Yeah,
that what you just said just now is damn what we say about Garoppolo, bro. Every Sunday. Come on, bro. I mean,
I'm telling you right now. I think if the doctor on the divisional game was like, yo, Jimmy's 100% cleared to play, they'd be like, Purdy, I appreciate what you did for us. Time to sit down, coach.
I don't think Garoppolo has that type of cat. I mean, so when he plays, he wins. They win. When he's a starter, they have
he's the one that wanted Jimmy there.
9-29 when Garoppolo's not playing. I get that big stat, but that stat just tells me he just doesn't have a quarterback. That doesn't mean Garoppolo. I mean, I don't want to come off as a Jimmy G hater. He's a good player. He wins games. He does his job. He's a solid game manager. But this, I kind of get this vibe of like people making it like think like he's like this all-time great guy, this great quarterback. And
I don't know.
I saw Steve Young saying we should keep Garoppolo for the next 10 years. I'm like, brother, whoa.
I think it's the eternal fear of people. Is not knowing. Like
sure.
Because that's CJ, you know that I do not think Jimmy is good. Or not good, special, I should say. Because he's decent.
Yeah, he's decent. He's good.
He's mid 99.
I would say he's above. I would say he's above.
He is the smack dab 15th best quarterback. 16th.
He's in that range.
Like smack dab right in the middle of midness. But it's just like, what if we bring somebody else in and they're bad? Like, that really is the ultimate struggle, man. Like, grass is always greener on the other side. No, it's not.
It hasn't been for them. Right.
Like, so that's why I think, even with Trey Lance, they brought him back as the backup because it was like, I mean, you have the shoulder injury, so nobody really wants you, but like, I guess, have you here. And then how happy were they that they did have him? But I do think it's that eternal fear of like, man, we're going to bring in Trey Lance. We're giving him the keys. Trey Lance has a 56% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. And everybody's like, we just had Jimmy in the building who never did anything special for us, but led us to a Super Bowl and a championship game last season. And we got rid of him. What's going on here?
Well, the 49er fans, what do you want? Because I see the same 49er fans saying, Jimmy's good, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to take us over the hump. So which one is it? Because that's the thing. Let's get Trey Lance because we think Trey Lance has that generational talent where he could take us to a different level. And then that's what 49ers were saying last year after the NFC Conference Championship game. We need that extra spark plug under center.
CJ, but that's the thing. I think you're going to find both of those people on both sides.
Sure,
and then one of them's going to be right. And if it's the Trey Lance people, you're gonna be happy that you're wrong because your team is still good.
Right.
And then if it's the Jimmy G people, you're going to be disgusted because Jimmy's not there and your team is bad.
They should hope that Trey Lance is the guy.
Yes. That should be your hope. You should hope that, listen, Jimmy, you did everything well for us. We appreciate you, but we think Trey Lance is going to be, whatever. We think he's going to be the next great.
Or Purdy might be. What is he, Mr. Irrelevant? Right?
First Mr. Irrelevant to ever not only throw a touchdown pass, but to even throw a forward pass.
Let's give him a shot.
Let's give him a shot.
Mr. Irrelevant finally do it. Actually,
For real.
there was one Mr. Irrelevant that was actually relevant. I think a kicker got drafted that was a Mr. Irrelevant a while ago, or not a while ago, but recent times that was actually pretty decent. I can't remember who it is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I mean, yeah, but anyway, just for my thoughts on this game as before we got onto the Jimmy G thing, but whatever. Listen, I give a lot of credit to the 49er defense. And CJ, this is always I really am the pessimistic one. I gotta get through life being less miserable, I guess. But I look at this game as I look at Patriot games, CJ. Everybody told me I was supposed to be excited after we beat the Lions because the offense scored a lot. And everybody told me that I was supposed to be excited after we played well against the Vikings because the offense looked good. But the two things that have in common is those defenses were terrible, so I wasn't really excited because I want to see what they would do against a good defense. They play the Bears, they look terrible again, and the defense looked bad. Is this a case where you look at the recent Miami stretch that they went on? They played the Texans. The Browns aren't very, good on defense. They played they played another bad team as well. I can't remember who it is.
Oh, you mean during this time frame?
Yeah, during this time frame.
They played they didn't play the Chargers yet, right?
They played the Chargers this week.
This week, right?
I think. Did they beat?
Yeah, couple layups.
Whatever.
Right?
They played some lower echelon defensive teams, and they beat up, and that's when everybody really got on the bandwagon. Like, oh my god, this team looks so good. Is the 49er defense that amazing? Which I think it is. I think the 49er defense really is that good. Or is this a case of like the Dolphins are still good, but like if they have to play an elite top 10 defense, which you're probably going to have to do in the playoffs, they're not going to be able to do what they've been doing. Because, I mean, the thing with Tua is that he's accurate, right? I mean, he was 18 of 33 in this game and 2 interceptions. And listen, you're not always going to have a clean pocket. You're going to face pressure a lot, which you're going to face pressure in the playoffs. That wasn't good when the pocket, wasn't clean. And even when it was, he was throwing balls into the dirt, throwing balls behind people. So I'm always on that little pessimistic, annoying sign of like, were they that good because of the teams they were playing? And then now that they're going to have to play some elite people, like what's going to happen now? And obviously, we're only going to find out as the season progresses. But that did run through my mind for a tad bit of like, is this a bad game, an off day for Tua and the entire defense or the entire offense, or is it like, oh God, they're not playing trash cans anymore. This is what they are. And I think it's a combo of both. I do. I think, and that's kind of still taking the easy way out of it because I think, listen, you can have an off day, but you can also have an off day because you are playing the 49er defense who, like you said, Nick Bosa has 3 sacks. Fred Warner's there. They got Armstead, Greenlaw. So they have players on that team, obviously. But it just obviously didn't look very good. Tyreek still had a very good game. Obviously, that's just what he does. 9 for 146, 9 for 146 and a tud. So, and obviously Jalen Waddle ended up getting hurt in this game, so they didn't have him for most of it. And then when he came back in, he was definitely limping around a lot. So he obviously was not full health. So I don't know. I think it's a combo of both of having an off day and then just playing a really good defense, but I want to see how they respond at least.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was just they just went up against a really good team. That happens sometimes. You go up against these great teams, and even though you're really good, you're just not your night. It's just not your Sunday. It's not a cop out. It's just real. It's just what happens in football. That's it. It's not taking the easy way out. It's just the reality of football and the season, how this thing plays out. You see teams get blasted in the regular season, and they match up against the squad again in the postseason, and they blast them. You see it all the time. So tough L, but back to the drawing board. So a lot to improve, a lot to work on, and they'll do that going forward for Miami. We got an AFC Conference Championship rematch, Chiefs and the Bengals. It's a back and forth matchup. 2 excellent quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. So you know it's going to be a classic. All their games were classics last year. Both games were classics last year, and this one, lived up right to it. No surprise here. Bengals were able to get it done. And continue to creep their way right into that playoff seeding at 8-4. What's your thoughts on this game, brother?
Yeah, it's just Listen, get out the deed to the property because Bengals own the Chiefs. I think since November 15th of last season, the Chiefs are 20-2. 2 losses to the Bengals. Now, obviously, the Chiefs have lost more games, but it's not from November 15th on. So it's a cherry pick stat, of course, which people love to do on the internet. And, well, I thought I'd tell you. But I feel like things in this game just happen that, like, don't normally happen when the Chiefs play. Like, whenever they play the Bengals, something happens. Travis, like in this one, Travis Kelce fumbles. When do you see Travis Kelce ever fumble?
He only got one. He got his first catch in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I don't know what the hell the Bengals defensive coordinator knows about the Chiefs, but every time, like even last year, the Bengals defense was all right, but the Chiefs offense is high powered. It's high powered.
Better than all right. Better than all right.
But like you, I usually go into these games and I'm like, yo, the Chiefs are dropping 30. They've been doing it all season. Like the Bengals defense is all right, better than all right, but not anything special.
They don't have special players.
I'll tell you what they do. They play well together.
Yes.
They gang. Listen, they're the one team that gang tackles. They
get turnovers at the right time.
Exactly. I mean, that turnover.
Opportunistic defense.
They're holding Travis Kelce up. You got the other person ripping at the ball, and obviously he eventually fumbles. They go down. They score the touchdown. And then, I mean, listen, Mahomes didn't play well in this game either. I mean, 16 of 27, 223. That's not Mahomes.
Nope.
That's Jimmy G.
Facts.
And then, you go to the Bengals side of things. I feel like the moment gets bigger, so does Joe Burrow. I mean, 25 of 31, 286, 2 touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown as well. Samaje Perine, 21 carries, 106 yards. Jamar Chase comes back, who loves playing against the Bengals, or not against the Bengals, against the Chiefs. 7 for 97 in his return game. T. Higgins with that huge, I believe it was him at least, that huge catch on 3rd and 11 to ice the game. Tyler Boyd should have had a touchdown in this game. He ends up dropping one that was absolutely wide open. And I thought that was going to end up being the turning point. I really did. I thought that was like, oh, that's the missed opportunity. Now the Chiefs go down and they end up scoring. They're going to win the game and do whatever. No, Bengals just they just know something about the Chiefs. And Josh asked me this yesterday. It's like, why are the Bengals so good against the Chiefs? And I don't have an answer because I don't understand how the Bengals aren't always like 14-2 or 14-3. Like I to this moment don't know how they lose games sometimes. I know it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're supposed to defend them. Oh yeah, let's man up, and technically there's 2 safeties on the field, so we can double 2 people. Well, all right, we'll double Higgins and Chase. You're really going to leave Boyd one-on-one? You're going to leave Hayden Hurst wide open in the middle of the field and mixing out of the backfield? Okay, never mind. Let's go. Let's stack the box. Make sure that Mixon can't run. Okay, so you just want them to pass with those 3 wide receivers. Have fun with that. Okay, let's play zone. The new offensive line starting to come together. What did I say? Offensive line is a unit. They need to play together. It's going to take some time. That's why they were bad in the early of the season. Playing pretty well now. Okay, let's play some zone. We'll drop back, make sure nobody, over the middle, down the sideline. We'll take all that stuff away. Okay, Samaje Perine has 106 rushing yards. Like, it's hard.
Yeah,
it is hard, and that defense just plays the Chiefs very, very well. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the defensive coordinator does, but they always play the Chiefs offense very, very well. So, hell of a game. Like you said, another instant, very good game that the Bengals and Chiefs play. If they played every single season, I would not be angry about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see this for the next 10 years. And that's the beauty of this. As long as those 2 guys are playing at a high level, we're going to see classics like this in the regular season and in the playoffs. So buckle up.
Right.
The reason why is because they get pressure with 4.
Yep.
And they got Hubbard, Henderson, those guys up front. That front 7 is extremely underrated. Those guys able to get to the quarterback. Lou Armanello, defensive coordinator, has done a phenomenal job over these last 2 years or so. with the Cincinnati defense. They play together. What they do is they rush 3 and drop 8. But the problem with the Chiefs is they don't run the ball off that. You're supposed to run the ball off that. If you got 3 people rushing and you got 5 guys protecting you, in my mind, simple math, let's run the ball. Because you could block everybody. You should have clear-cut holes and lanes for Isaiah Pacheco and these guys to get up the field. So that's the problem with Andy Reid sometimes. He gets too pass happy. He wants to pass all the time. And they get away from the run game. Sometimes they get away from playing complementary football. And against teams like this, where you could have potential drives where you get 3 and outs, guys drop the pass, the passes get dislodged because of deflections, things like that, or penalties. You have a holding, you have a false start, things that bring you back. You're going up against a squad like Cincinnati, who just has the same amount of offensive firepower as you do, like you just talked about, the way you broke down the roster. You could slip up. So if you have you have back-to-back 3 and outs, and you're not keeping the drive going, Cincinnati's great enough to go score on those 2 drives that you weren't able to capitalize on after those 3 and outs. So how do you combat that? You take the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands. How do you do that? You run the football.
Yeah.
You run the football. You have Patrick Mahomes.
Possession.
Yes, exactly. You keep the football out of Joe Burrow's hands as much as possible. That's what you do. And sometimes I think the Chiefs, they get away from that, and that's why they take some of these L's. But it's still a very close game. And Patrick Mahomes didn't play well, didn't play great, didn't have his best game, and it was extremely close. So they have to run they have to commit to the run. They have to commit to the run. You can't just pass the football all the time, because when you pass the football all the time, one, you're stopping the clock. Stopping the clock. And you're giving opportunities for Allen, Burrow, Jackson, Herbert, all these guys. You're giving them more opportunities to score if your offense doesn't have it going during that time frame. So just play a little bit more complementary football, run the ball just a little bit more, and I think they'll be fine. But yeah, great game between two excellent young quarterbacks. I definitely see them linking up down the road. We got a divisional matchup between the Chargers and the Raiders. It was a close game. Chargers tried to fight, but the Raiders, they're just hitting on all cylinders right now on a 3-game win streak. Just playing great football. They're playing great football. Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Just give those guys the ball and you win the game.
Get out of the way.
It's that simple. So sad they didn't pay him. We'll see what happens.
Franchise tag's looking mighty.
Tag him. Yep, they're gonna tag him. They have to. I think the number's around 12.5 for running backs on the tag. Probably could have got a deal done. Could have saved you a couple mil, but we'll see.
Had this man playing in the Hall of Fame game.
Nasty.
The third strings don't play in the Hall of Fame game.
Nasty. But he's been phenomenal for this football team, bro. Easily their second best player. Devontae Adams. I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's just so dominant. I haven't really seen a wide receiver this dominant. I mean, listen, before this guy, destroyed his career, Antonio Brown was definitely up there for me in terms of a 5-year frame. Yeah, that 5-year window.
That 5-year stretch he went on or 4-year stretch he went on with the Steelers, where it was like 1,500 yards every season, 110 catches, and double-digit touchdowns.
That was something crazy. But this right here is different. Going to a different team, going to a different conference, and it just doesn't stop. And the only reason why he wasn't getting the ball early on is because they weren't throwing him the ball. He was saying he only had four targets in the game. In a 60-minute ball game, your best player that you just paid $130 million to gets 4 targets.
Yeah, 4 targets on the first drive.
Yeah, McDaniels woke up and realized, I got the best wide receiver in this generation on my team.
He probably was never used to having a good wide receiver.
I mean, he had Randy. They had Randy
He
for
was
a
the
couple.
offensive coordinator for that?
Yeah, he was offensive coordinator for that. Yeah, he was there. So they had Brandon Marshall when he was the head coach of the Broncos. So he's been around some good wide receivers. I'm not
The last
cutting
few
him.
years, I should say, then.
Fair enough. I'm still not cutting that man no slack.
Oh, no,
at
he don't
all.
deserve it.
Yeah, no, because either way, it still doesn't make an excuse for that guy to only get 4 targets in a 60-minute ball game. But nonetheless, they figured it out. Let's run the football, get Josh Jacobs the ball. It creates easier opportunities for guys like Adams on the outside. We know the relationship that Carr has with Adams. That was a great double move. The flea flicker. Woo! Big play. 8 receptions, $177.
Fantasy team loved it, by the way.
The numbers he's putting up is up there with Marvin Harrison, T.O., Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. I mean, when you're in that discussion with those 4 names,
Elite.
yeah, you're top tier. Top tier talent wide receiver. I know Cup had that phenomenal Triple Crown year, but when we talk about resume, body of work over the last couple of years, consistently, it's not even close.
Yeah.
1 of 1. Number 17. and the Raiders, hey, they're sneaking their way, trying to get back in this playoff chase.
9-7.
5-7. We see them, so that's going to be an interesting game. When I say we, I mean Patriots. We see them. That's going to be an interesting game, depending on what do they want to do? What do they want to do? Because Raiders trying to make the playoffs. So both of these teams, that their goal is to get to the playoffs. They're going to butt heads. We're going to see how that plays out between Bill and McDaniels in a couple weeks. But yeah, the Raiders are playing great football. They woke up and they have a shot to maybe get into this dance and shake some things up. Chandler Jones, 3 sacks, definitely his best game as a Raider.
Oh, absolutely.
This year he woke up as well. So yeah, great W for the Raiders, and we'll see how it plays out, man. If they get in somehow, some way, it's just going to make for more interesting football because of the talent that they have.
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot of what I would have said, obviously. But listen, Devontae Adams is that guy. You go back and look at some of the games, like that Cardinal game. How do you lose that one? Like, if you go back and
Colts game looks bad right now. That
Colts game looks so bad. We're about to get into them right now, bro. But, man, that Colts game. Like, if you just flip a couple of those games, you're 7-5 instead of 5-7. You're right there on the edge of the playoffs, right there with the Jets and everybody. I mean, it is a shame. But it's good to see that they figured it out. It might be too late to figure it out, but
we'll see. Yeah.
And listen, they're also doing this without Hunter Renfrow. No Darren Waller's in. But listen, Josh Jacobs has been unbelievable. He had over a buck again. I think he had 144 in this game. Listen, incredible, man. This is the Raiders' offense we could have seen for a long time if they had just done what they were supposed to do and got the ball to their playmakers.
O-line playing well too. That's really what it is. That was really the problem. That's what we talked about, even in preseason. Could that O-line stand the test of time? And right now they're playing great.
Yeah, I mean, and the defense has improved a little bit as well because they weren't playing well earlier on in the year as well. Obviously, they went out and got Chandler Jones, thinking he's going to make a big impact. I think he had half a sack after week 8. So it was not looking good for a long while with him. But hey, they're obviously steadily improving. I mean, listen, it's for the Chargers the same thing. If I'm a Charger fan, I look at this game, and it's one more loss towards the fire Brandon Staley count. Listen, I understand that they're incredibly injured. Like, I think they have the second most players on IR besides the Titans, who have number 1. But Herbert's your quarterback. You're wasting it. Eckler's still very good, obviously. When Bosa comes,
still very good.
Yeah, Keenan. That
great
throw
catch.
And catch on that 4th down. That was just absolutely gorgeous to watch. Just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it was a very good game. I was very in tune for this one. I mean, listen, you're putting Asante Samuel Jr. on one-on-one coverage with Devontae on a double move. sorry, buddy, it's not going to work out too well for you. So good for the Raiders. I listen. I don't know why I've always kind of enjoyed them, so I like seeing them do well. And I mean, obviously, until they play us, I hope they lose by 45. But yeah, if you just switch some of those losses earlier on in the season, man, it's just such a different story. I'm surprised LA fans aren't jumping out windows with how their teams are crumbling this year. Yeah, we know how that bandwagon works.
LA, yeah, they're not really.
They're not that passionate.
They care more about SC when it comes to football, more than anything. Rams, Chargers.
They're just there.
They like the rate. Honestly, LA still Raider town. If you're really talking about it, they still root for the Raiders over there. So I know they have the Chargers and the Rams. I know the Rams
just win, baby.
Yeah, I know the Rams won a Super Bowl, but I just feel like the identity of that.
Have you watched the Mark? No, not is it? No, is Mark Davis the one right now? Who is the father? Al Davis.
Al Davis, right?
Al Davis versus
30 for 30.
Yeah, the 30 for 30. Have you seen it?
Of course. Yeah, that's a classic. 30 for 30.
There might be a new one out then.
Oh, is there a new one? Oh.
Because I watched something on Hulu and like they were both like AI generated like real people like talking back and forth like Davis and who was the commissioner?
Right now?
No.
Oh, back then? Tagliabue.
Wasn't
Oh no, it was
Roselle?
Roselle, right. Back then, yeah.
It's like it's weird. It's like these two CGI like humans talking back and forth, like being interview styled, as one being Al Davis and the other one being. It's weird, but it's so good. It was so good. It was on Hulu. I did find it on Hulu.
Check it out.
But
definitely look for that. But yeah, Al Davis, legend. LA still Raider town.
It goes into all that and like trying to get him to move and Roselle like not letting it happen, and it was very good. I'd watch it randomly at like 3 a.m. one night, and it was a good decision.
It'd be those docs at 3 a.m. When you scrolling through Hulu, that'd be the clutch ones. That's a fact. All the time. And what I'm starting to do too. I'm on this. I'm about to get on this jersey collection journey, man.
Oh yeah,
yo, definitely that silver and black Devontae. What?
Yeah, CJ, let's keep this quiet real quick. Ready? I don't think my brother will listen to this. Not by Christmas. So he sent me randomly a couple jerseys, like a D-Hop jersey and a Jamar Chase white, the white one, Jamar Chase. Right. Mm-hmm. So he's a medium, skinny little bitch. So the medium and the Jamar was out. He ends up buying the Hopkins jersey. And I was like, and I literally had bought him the Hopkins one. I bought it. And then I asked his girl, I was like, yo, did he get any of them? And she texted him, like right as I bought him. And he was like, oh, yeah, I bought the Hopkins one. I was like, I hate this kid. So I canceled that order. Had a nice sale over, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. I didn't get black and silver, but I got the white out alternate Devontae Adams Raider jersey.
Clean.
So,
man.
Andrew, if you hear this, that's your Christmas present.
Nice. A couple weeks away. That's definitely a nice one for sure. That's a legend. You gotta frame that one or throw that in the collection.
Because I got a small baseball one. I got Trout. I got a Bellinger jersey, which looks weird now, but I thought he was going to be a god after he won that MVP.
No, yeah, definitely thought he'd be next up.
And then I got a Judge one, which I'm hoping, stays relevant.
Could be a vintage. You're
right.
Could be a vintage for sure. This journey jersey definitely going to be a jersey journey. It's going to be a good one for sure. Getting items. Try to get that. If you're a young Patriot fan right now, what jersey do you buy? Who do you get?
Bro, that's the problem. My brother is a Patriot fan, and I was like, I'll just get him a Patriot jersey. I was like, I have no idea what to get him. I was like, I don't know if Mac's the starter forever, so why am I going to waste my money on a Mac? And they had the throwback red ones on sale. And I was like, I would get him a Mac one right now, easy. But I was like, I'm not wasting money on that. I don't know if he's going to be here. I thought about it. Do you get a Ramondre? But like running backs are so whatever.
Under Bill with Bill, yeah, just don't know.
There's no star wide receiver. Yeah, I thought about it, Judon.
Judon's the only one. He's the only one, bro. It's the only one I would get. Mac and Judon. That's it. No wide receivers at all. But yeah. All right, second to last game, we got the Sunday Night Football, Colts and the Cowboys. Now, if you look at the score, right, you'd be like 54-19. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This game was actually close in the fourth quarter, believe it or not. It was 21-19
with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
2 minutes left in the third. It was still pretty close into the fourth, and then just the Colts just started to unravel. 5 turnovers in a row. It was just bad to watch. Cowboys didn't really play great to start. They struggled. Dak threw a terrible pass it was a great pass to Gilmore, but a terrible pass it was supposed to be intended to Gallup, which led to an interception. I don't know what he was seeing there. I mean, Gallup didn't even win his route.
My bad. It's called Al Davis versus the NFL.
Al Davis versus the NFL. All right, check that. I'm gonna definitely check that out. But yeah, Dak struggled early, and we see this from time to time with Dak. He struggles early and then picks it up late against mediocre teams. Exactly. That's the caveat. And but this time, let's start here. Matt Ryan.
It's over, buddy.
Hell of a career. Number 1 pick out of Boston College, 2008. 15 years in the NFL. MVP. Went to the Super Bowl. We know what happened. We're not gonna get into that. I'll get into that. But through a bunch of Hall of Famers, Julio, TG, handing it off to Michael Turner. If you forget about Michael Turner was a dog in those early stages in Atlanta when he was young. When Matt Ryan was young, he handed it off to Michael Turner. Dog. Roddy White, dog.
Oh, I love Roddy White.
Harry Douglas, who's on ESPN right now, made big, solid wide receiver 3 for the Falcons during that time.
Julio.
Of course, Julio. That's a given. Hell of a career. It's time. It's over. It's definitely time for him to pack it up. And it's just he can't do anything. He can't do anything anymore, man. He can't throw the ball down the field. He can't throw the ball short, intermediate, or deep passes.
Can't stop turning it over.
Turnovers. He's not mobile. It's time. It's time to wrap it up. Salute. Had a great career, no doubt. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? My opinion, absolutely not. But not even close to a Hall of Famer. But again, I'm not making that vote. There's no way you could look at there's no way you could say you could look at Matt Ryan's career and be like, yeah, this is a 1,000% Hall of Famer. No way.
How? 1,000%? Come on.
If you really love the game of football, no way you could do that. But hey, nonetheless, if Colts fans, I've been saying this over the last month. This is good. It doesn't feel good, but it'll be good. Doesn't feel good, but it's gonna be good later on because you need this.
You need a hard reset.
You need a brother. I mean, Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz. The stop gaps. It's time to stop the gaps. Time to stop the gaps. Let the L's flow. Just let the L's flow into a bad pick so you can get a quarterback again. It's time, bro. Stop. I'm tired. I'm really tired because I'm pretty sure these fans they've seen winning culture now. Let's not get carried. Let's not forget what this organization has done over these last 2 decades. They've won a lot of games. Peyton,
Andrew.
Exactly. Multiple playoff.
New story out about Andrew Luck with Seth Wickersham. Andrew Luck sat down for an interview with him.
I saw headlines, but I didn't really dive into that. I saw quotes here and there, but I want to do my own homework.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet either, but I'm very intrigued.
Yes, very very intrigued. Now he's talking now, which is good. We're interested to see what he has to say, and hear his side because I think we only just hear the Colts side. So
Be interested to hear his side and how he views things in his career, how that ended. But nonetheless, it's time for a new future, a new life in the city of Indianapolis. And even though they're taking these L's, this is what they needed. They need this. They need to get a young quarterback, develop him, mold him into something special, because that vision is still up in the air. As much as I love Mike Vrabel and as a great job as he's done in Tennessee, that division is still up in the air because they still got Tannehill at quarterback. Jaguars remains to be seen. Lawrence has played better. He's shown flashes of greatness from time to time, game to game, series to series, things like that. But from the perspective, from a team standpoint, they're still not there yet.
No.
Texans, I mean, you're right. Okay, I don't even have to go into that. Stop. So they could turn this around pretty quickly if they're able to hit a home run at quarterback here in this next draft, because the defense. I mean, you see 54, but they turn the ball over 5 times, and the Cowboys had good field goal position. It's tough to ask the defense to get 5 stops like that after the offense is given.
I think they scored 2 defensive touchdowns too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be it's difficult to ask that defense to do everything all the time for 60 minutes. So these are good losses. Again, I've been saying this over the last couple of weeks for the Colts. These are good losses for this team. They just got to hit a home run at that quarterback position. I'm sure Jim Irsay completely understands what's going on right now. He knows. It's time. You tried the bridge quarterback method, and it hasn't worked. Saturday has a young, moldable quarterback in Ellinger. He pulled him because he said Ryan gave him the best chance to win. Ellinger is the Mike White of the Colts, in my opinion. Wow. I can't go that far. I haven't seen enough of him. From the game I saw him play against New England, again, albeit it's just one game, you can't just.
And you know what Bill does against rookie quarterbacks? It's not even
right. I think it's the second year, right? Young quarterbacks in general, right?
Well, first time starting, though.
For first time starter, yes. Young quarterbacks,
and they struggle at home too, right?
That's what's in the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterbacks are like 5 and like 40 in those situations, so that's tough.
Yeah, for sure. But I haven't seen enough sample size to really form an opinion on Ellinger yet. So could he be something? I saw him in Texas. He was really talented. He was very mobile. He could move around, had a strong arm. But that's Texas. That's the Big 12. That you could say that about a lot of quarterbacks coming out the Big 12. They come to the NFL, not so much. So a la Baker. I'm sorry, I caught it straight, brother. My fault, man. Just popped in my head. But could he be that guy? I don't know, Gridiron. I still feel like there's some guys in the draft right now. Stroud, Deegan from TCU. There's some guys I think they could be looking at in the draft. I think that'll be a better route than Ellinger. But it's the Cowboys. They're gonna win these games. This game they should have won. They should have won. CeeDee Lamb looked great. The run game was solid. Again, Dak didn't have a phenomenal game. You see 54, you think he had like 500 passing yards, 6 touchdowns. Not the case. It's really just about their defense, how great their defense was. And if their defense is playing like this, they're going to be a formidable opponent for anybody.
33 nothing in the fourth quarter is one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like 30. Listen, I'll be honest with you, CJ. I can't say anything that you didn't say, and out of respect for the fact that we've been on for 2.5 hours, I'll just go to that Monday night game because I mean this, like, putrid isn't even the word. Like, there are not enough bad adjectives to describe what it was like watching this game. At least the last quarter, because like I said, they were down 3 points with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in the third quarter, and then 33-0 run. I mean, what is this? It's like it's like the NBA. Like the Warriors just all of a sudden got hot and started taking threes.
Seriously,
33-0 in the NFL. How's that even possible? There's 15 minutes.
Man, I was doing count the bucket with Michael and Nick, and I was talking about the game, and I would look up here and there. I'm like, okay, the game's kind of close, and then I think I was just having a conversation for maybe about 5-10 minutes with them, not looking at the game. Then I looked up. I'm like, what's the score? It was crazy, bro. It was so crazy, and I was like, wow, they put up 54. It was just 21-19. Insane.
It's tough times out here.
Tough times, but that's not least for this week we got NFC South showdown, Bucks and the Saints. Saints travel to Tampa Bay this time. It was 16-3 in the fourth quarter, and Brady does his magic, man. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, it's that team magic, I'll say, because Brady does his thing, obviously, and listen, I know it's probably because they're calling like different plays and they're getting into the huddle fast and in and out, and it's the end of the game, so teams are tired. But like the Rams game, those last couple of drives, this game, the last couple of drives, how are the Bucks just not always like that? It's like at the end of the game, they all of a sudden figure out how to play football again, but in some cases, it's just too late because they're down. Like those last two drives, they moved the football like there was nobody playing defense. And like I said, it's because it's probably the end of the game and people are tired, and the Saints. I don't know, but it is so weird watching how awful they are the first like 3.5 quarters, honestly, and then all of a sudden it's a comeback win. But hey, listen, the defense did what it was supposed to do for the Bucks. I believe that they're 5th in scoring defense, so they're still having an unbelievable season. It's just that the offense hasn't been really doing anything, and finally in this game at the end, they come through. Mike Evans appeared. Chris Godwin was having a pretty good game. Obviously, White had a good game at running back for the Bucks as well. And it just continues to be the thing of like Brady doesn't turn the ball over. Like he did have the interception in this game, I will say, and they definitely tricked him on that play. I think it was Demario Davis looked like he was going to go and take the running back. He folds off of that. Makes the interception on the crossing route, but it was just one of those games where like you had chances to put them away and chances to put them away, and then they finally don't, and Brady ends up on top throwing a touchdown pass to White with I think there was 3 seconds left in the game. Yeah, so and then Scotty Miller a big catch on that. I believe it was a 3rd down.
Big catch.
Julio, and I mean, listen, even you got to give respect to the team as well of keeping their composure, because I mean, that's he throws a touchdown pass to Chris Godwin that you win the game, and then holding.
It's called back, yeah.
Holding, and it's like, oh my gosh, not like at that moment I was like, damn, they're gonna end up losing this game because of that, aren't they? And then it's a little out route to Godwin. He gains 8 yards and he steps out of bounds, so they don't have to use the timeout, which allows them to throw the ball over the middle of the field to White instead of having to go straight for the end zone. Because if you don't have that timeout, are you taking the risk of him getting tackled at the 1 yard line? So it was those little tiny things. It's Mark Ingram not stepping out of bounds, or it's Mark Ingram stepping out of bounds, I should say, on that 3rd down. I want to say making it a 3rd and 1, and then on the next one they pass the ball to try and get it, and ends up a 4th and 1. They have to punt. It's all of those little minute details that if you don't pay attention, you just miss it. You're like, but how did this happen if they had it like that? And it's just all of those small little things that it's like, yeah, and they all add up, and it adds up to a win for the Bucks and a loss for the Saints because of those things. Like like I said, if Godwin doesn't step out, you have to use that timeout. You can't throw the ball over the middle. You're scared he's going to get tackled. Honestly,
entire play calling.
If Ingram stretches the ball further out, he gets that 1st down. There's not really anybody. I mean, there was somebody near him, but he can get that 1st down if he puts his shoulder down.
Game's over.
If he doesn't step out of bounds, it's all of those little tiny. It's keeping your composure after getting a holding call after you just essentially won the game. Which, by the way, I hate that offensive lineman. I had a little parlay in. Only was going to win me about $20 for 5. The last leg of the parlay, anytime Chris Godwin touchdown. I was celebrating.
I know that hurt. Yeah.
I was celebrating, and then all of a sudden,
see that yellow? Yeah, you see that yellow? See that yellow on the ticker? That's
unbelievable.
That hurts the soul so much when your team gets a big play and you see that
There's
yellow. Oh
nothing
my
like
god!
a big, like a 60-yard run, and all of a sudden you see a yellow. I'm like, oh,
You see the ref. He be throwing that. He be ready, throwing that joint. Like, yeah, it's coming back. You thought you had.
oh,
a
you
big
thought
play.
you had this?
Oh,
Yeah,
no, that makes me. Oh man, I'd be so sick. Yeah, it does. You mentioned all the turning points of this game. Also, the pass. Dalton played pretty good. Dalton played pretty good.
Yeah.
Shocker! Wow, golf clap. Because he made a big throw to Taysom Hill. Keanu Neal made a big play. Big play.
Yeah.
Big play. One, to not get the flag for hitting the defensive receiver, added 15. For him to keep his shoulder right on the ball. That's a big play, man. That's such a big play. And the defense held it down. Mark Ingram, you made a great point. His hammy flared up on him a little bit. He could have got the first down. You should have did that. You got to win the game, bro. You got to win the game. If you know a first down wins it, and if it doesn't win it, it takes precious seconds off the clock for Brady to get an opportunity to go win it himself. So, just situational football, things that maybe if Sean Payton was the guy, maybe that's a little bit different. But with Dennis Allen as a head coach, maybe that preparation is just a slight different with a new voice over there. But the Saints got to be kicking themselves because they had this one in the bag. And they're gonna take this L. White, who fumbled in the game, rookie, came back and scored the game-winning touchdown. And for Brady to trust him and go to him after he struggled, after he turned the ball over, and prior to the game,
Aaron Rodgers could never.
No, I mean it's not even close. It just speaks.
He fumbles that ball, he would never seen it ever again.
No, he would never saw it again. It just speaks to Brady. It just speaks to Brady, man. It's the ultimate teammate he is. How much he trusts his guys. If you put the work in, if he sees you putting that work in every day in practice, okay. If you make a mistake here and there, he's still going to go back to you because he knows that you're going to make plays. If you're out there, Brady trusts you. Plain and simple. And for him to be out there as a rookie. With the guy like Fournette right there too on the depth chart who's made plays, for him to be in the game during that moment, it speaks volumes. So big play from him. Saints playoff percentage went from 28% to like 0.6, and that Eagles pick went from 18 to 3rd. Sheesh!
That's a wild.
Yo, that's crazy. That's
18
so crazy.
to 3rd.
Nah, that's crazy. That's a crazy jump. Bro.
Imagine being 11-1 and knowing you have a 3rd overall pick in the draft in your back pocket.
Wow.
Howie Roseman's got to be looking at his office like, how do I not have a statue?
There were talks of him getting fired too. Remember that?
I know.
He was coming for his job. And wow, what a scenario for them. But
He said, yeah, watch
Bucks,
this.
big win for the Bucks. They needed this. And the way it's seated right now, they play the Cowboys. Now
Played
I
them
know
opening night too.
they played them opening night, different team. It's completely different. Week 12 is different than week 13.
Oh, yeah.
Is different than week 1. But
It is Dak.
even though Dallas is they're playing great in the playoffs, you sleep on Brady if you want to. Sleep on Brady if you want to. And you got to pay a price. You could pay a price. And they have a lot of guys on that team that have championship identity still. Devin White, Levante David.
Jensen
Brady.
should be back.
They said Jensen might be on the way back. Yeah, he wasn't out for the season. They never put him out for the season, so he could come back. That's a big addition. Wirfs might come back also. He was out in this game at right tackle. So if they start to get the right guys back at the right time, watch out because the defense is still very good,
5th in scoring.
Phenomenal. So the offense, they got to get it going. I think the reason why it's struggled is because of that offensive line. You got to keep Brady upright, and not only are they're not doing a great job at pass protecting, they're not doing a great job at run blocking.
They have one of the worst running offenses in NFL history.
Exactly, and that plays a big part. And Brady likes to check into runs depending on defensive coverages. So if you can't do that, you're going to struggle. So it doesn't matter who you have on the outside; you still have to play complementary football. But big win for this. Big win for the Bucks. Tough loss for the Saints, and we'll see how that plays out for them as this last month of the season goes down. Week 14 picks. Thursday night football. We got the Raiders and the Rams. California showdown. Well, actually, not California showdown anymore. Raiders are in Vegas, but who we got in this one? I got the Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders too. You know how we did last week?
You went 11-4-1. I think I went 9-3-1. So, yeah, not really. I don't know why I keep taking these L's, bro. I don't know why I keep taking these L's. I think one I picked the Chiefs and the Bengals, and you picked the Bengals. And it was a couple games where it was a difference. We pretty much picked the same teams throughout the week, outside of a couple teams, and obviously the tie. We both picked the Giants to win that game and end up being a tie. So, yeah, it's a difference of a couple games, but it's all good. It's all good. Who you got in this one now?
I assume we're moving on to the Jets and Bills, I would say.
Yeah, Jets and Bills, yeah.
Listen, Mike White's a cool story, brother. Bills at home, though, you got to go with them. I think they're back on track. And they want that lick back.
Yeah, December time in Buffalo, man. Yeah, it's pretty brick over there in the 716, man. I can't lie. That's even though the Jets are in New York or Jersey, that's a different type of cold up there, 8 hours away. I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo. Browns and the Bengals. Whoa. Deshaun for his game against the Bengals. Whoa. Who you got, man?
Bills destroyed White last year. Yeah, I forgot. That was like his second game. They killed him. I'm going to go with the Bengals, though. Listen, Deshaun, a couple more games for Deshaun to get the cobwebs out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm gonna go Cincinnati too. I think it's a closer game. I think the Browns offense plays much better than they played against the Texans. They started to get some things going, but I got Cincinnati. Cowboys and the Texans.
Skip it. Stop it.
We know what time it is. Vikings and the Lions. You talked about this game earlier. Who you got?
Listen, I can't come on the show, call the Vikings a fraud, call Amon-Ra Brown a top 10 wide receiver, and then pick the Vikings. I'll go. Give me the Lions at home.
Right, I respect that. Keep it funky all the way, bro. I'm gonna go Minnesota. Still. I think it's gonna be a good game, close game. Two teams that could score a lot of points. You can see a potential shootout. I think Minnesota gets it done. Eagles and the Giants.
I got the Eagles, man.
Yeah, I have Philadelphia as well. Again, divisional matchup, so it's gonna be close. It's going to be competitive, but I think all in all, I can see Philadelphia pulling away towards the second half of the third quarter into the fourth in that game. This used to be a classic every single year. Not so much over the last few years. Ravens and the Steelers. Tyler Huntley versus Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh.
I'm
gonna go Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You got Pittsburgh too. Okay.
Yeah. I listen. TJ Watt, Minka. Come on, you got to win. The Steelers on a little win streak. Why not?
I could see a 9-6 game for this one right here. I can see a 9-6 for the next one too coming up. Yeah, 17-14, yeah, 16-10. Like it's in the stars for this game right here. I'm going with Pittsburgh though, in a close one.
Yeah.
Jaguars and the Titans. I don't know.
I got the Titans. I mean, I just think I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like a rivalry, but the Titans are just a little bit better, and they know the Jags, and I don't know. Actually, wait, isn't I think the Jags are the team. No, it's the Texans. No, it's the Jags. That Derrick Henry always goes for like 150 on.
Yes, it's the Jags.
It is the Jags.
Honestly, it's both teams.
I think he has like 4 straight games of 200 yards against the Jags.
Yeah, he owns the Texans and the Jags.
So I mean,
it's probably both teams. I wouldn't be shocked. And he's struggled these last couple games. I could definitely see him getting right in this one, and it's in Nashville.
250, a touchdown.
Yeah, it's not easy. Chiefs and the Broncos. Stop it. Got Kansas City. Panthers and the Seahawks. Now Panthers, they're 4-8, but they've been playing better as of late. They haven't been necessarily getting dubs, but they've been playing better. They got a couple of dubs here and there, but still, I'm a rock with Seattle. They're at home. I see them winning that game.
Yeah, I'll take Gina.
Bucks and the 49ers. Purdy versus Brady. Bucks defense versus the 49er defense. I can see this being really similar.
Disgustingly ugly game.
Yeah, I can see this game being very similar to the Monday night game.
I think McCaffrey has 12 catches in this game.
Very possible. But who you got though?
I'll take the Bucks.
Okay.
Brady going home to Cali in front of his people. I like you said, Purdy against that Bucks defense. I know. I'll go with the Bucks. I'm not confident in it though.
I agree. I feel you on that one. You said Purdy versus his Bucks defense. There's also Brady versus his 49er defense.
Exactly. That's why I'm not confident.
Yeah, it's gonna be a battle for sure between both of those defenses. I'm gonna just go with Tom, man. I just feel like the game's gonna be close, and it could be really similar to what we saw yesterday. And I just cannot doubt this guy. I've seen too much. Dolphins versus the Chargers. This is an interesting game. Remember, this was the Dolphins should have took Herbert. You know what I mean? They should have went Herbert over Tua.
Still should.
Okay, fair. I agree. I still agree. I got the Dolphins in this one though.
I do as well. Listen, I think is Herbert a better quarterback than Tua? I don't care what the record is. Yeah, he is. But the Dolphins are a better team.
Yes.
Much better team.
Much better. Yeah, I see this could get ugly. And then last but not least, Monday Night Football, our guys, New England Patriots versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going with us, but I mean, I'm not really excited for this game at all.
I don't know how you could be.
Yeah, both teams are very underwhelming.
I go with the Pats too, but would I be shocked if they lose? No. You want to know why? Mobile quarterback.
A mobile quarterback, right? But we played pretty well against Kyler over the last couple of years, though. Even though Kyler is a mobile quarterback, those games were in New England, though. That game was in New England.
We will find out. Listen,
we will find out.
Well, it's been a long one, as they usually are, because hey, we got to break down everything. We got to get our thoughts out and do what we do. We got to have some wonderful, conversation with the people in the comments as well. We don't leave anything out on this program. So, with that being said, though, that's the end. Anthony Conover _ You can find me there on Twitter. You can also find my link tree there, which will lead you to everything I do. Mondays is Generational Sports. Tuesdays is the Hard Count, as you just watched. Thursdays is Backstop Banter. We got a bunch of MLB free agency news. The biggest domino to drop is probably going to drop tomorrow. Technically today, now that it's midnight in the East Coast with Judge. It's looking like the Giants. I'm praying to be wrong. But listen, I'm going to break down everything on the baseball side of things on Thursdays. So make sure you check that out. CJ, what about you, brother?
Sir, make sure to check that out, man. Thursdays, every Thursday. Right here on the Unwrapped Sports Network. You can find me every Tuesday, like you see tonight, with my guy Anthony Conover, and also every Sunday on the Unwrapped Sports Network at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Count the Bucket. Michael Lawson, Nick Andre. Look out for us dropping NBA content every single day. Follow us. Follow the Hard Count on Instagram now. We're on IG. But so start putting some content on there. That's at the Hard Count NFL. Make sure you follow us. Give us a follow. Tell your friends about it. We're trying to make some moves in this IG world also. And follow Count the Bucket also. Count the Bucket _ for all NBA content with my guys. Lawson and Andre. Thank you guys for tuning in. Week 13, episode 91. We will catch you guys on the next episode. Everybody have a good week. Stay safe. Stay blessed.